D&D. Fantasy.
D&D.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay. So, who do we have on recap this week? Could it be George today? Georgie!
Georgie.
Is it me? Okay, so because of the absolute calamity that our party is, the main thing that happened in the last session is that Loran consented to having his memory wiped, all the way back to a time where he was a lot more like the Loran we used to know and a lot less like the crazed man we know today. So he consents to that with some caveat that if Brian goes unconscious, the spell breaks and basically he's getting out of there with his unconscious hubby, which hopefully does not happen again. And because of the memory wipe, there's a sort of definite tension in the room to start with between Sleia and Loran, who Loran still thinks Sleia is Astra, and Sleia is a bit like understandably off, but then Sleia has a conversation with Saraza and is like, you know what, we're probably all going to die. Let's not waste this little time we have left on being salty. I don't think we've had a scene then with Sleia and Loran after this conversation yet.
We've all had a picnic.
We've had a sad picnic in the hallway, but I don't think Sleia has had any like one-on-one time with Loran.
Oh, not one-on-one. No, she just apologized to him.
Yeah, so it seems to be that the party is in an uneasy, not necessarily truce, but an uneasy peace. And basically we're all getting ready to go to Melas. I think those were sort of the main points.
We said we would leave by lunchtime.
Yeah, basically there's in between all of that there's deep chats, there's sadness, there's crying, there's weirdness, all of that. So yes, I think that's everything of real significance though.
Yes. Very good. All right. So, all of you are having a sad picnic in the hall.
Sorry.
You all kind of just like picked a spot on the floor, cornered by the walls, and are settled in, having your tea, having alcoholic drinks, and are just sitting there passing the time. Now, I believe the last to have probably arrived there was Ulster.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And everyone, you're all together. What do you wish to do? The silence.
Also did say he wanted to talk to Loran privately, but he's not pushing it at the moment. He's kind of just enjoying this little moment that we're having together.
Yeah, I think Cass is also feeling the same. I think Cass might roll an insight check for the general group.
Yeah.
And just see what is everyone feeling. Now, don't fail me. I always use you for my insight.
All that.
Come on. 11.
11? I was just rolling the dice to make sure that my dice can roll. With an 11, what's your passive insight?
My passive insight is 12.
Okay. Well, insight's not really your strong suit.
It's not. Cass is better at the lying, but not so much as the detecting of the lying.
I think that you a liar who doesn't know when they're being lied to. Interesting.
Whereas also
anyways, fun little. You can tell that the group is pretty stressed, I think, is a fair word. Does anybody want to add on any particulars for themselves with an 11?
Sleia seems a lot more relaxed than she has been in a while.
Cool.
That's good.
Start.
Bluey,
Oh my god.
What does Cass know with a 12?
Is that... did you roll deception just there, or is
No, that's actually a genuine. That's a genuine response.
And Anna, what does Cass get from Bluey with a 12?
I think. Look, okay. If Louis has insight passive of 12, maybe Slia. It's like a barometer of things. If Slia is kind of a bit calmer, then Louis is certainly a bit calmer, but she's just the anxious about like how to approach Melas
Sure.
and
Anxious.
possibly how short they're going to be there for. And well, she needs her. I mean, she got some reassurance from. She's got reassurance from somewhere. Cass wouldn't know where or how. But in a dream. Look, it's a mixed bag. She does want to like find opportunities to make sure that Loran is being told, look, yes, you can attack the guy that looks like Ender because there's a separate body elsewhere, and so his soul, like, yeah. Look, it's a little mixed bag, a little.
Okay.
Okay, so when you look at everyone, you get a range of emotions from anxiety to stress to calm to completely oblivious to the severity of their situation. In Loran's case, who just sits back and is smiling and is like, "So, my friends."
Nobody asked Walter how he was feeling.
Well, Cass rolled an insight, so what did she get? But you rolled a deception, so
I wasn't in charge of that.
what did?
All steps. What are you feeling?
Also, it's making a daisy chain. You don't get anything from
Okay, cool. Loran is like, so that's a funky little flower chain you're making. Can I have one, please?
it. He holds up a finger, spends another like 30 seconds, then puts it on Loran's head.
Ooh, snazzy. I think this will be my battle gear to this whatever fight thing we're going to. By the way, how worried for my life should I be?
I think that's in character. Just
Are we
on
talking low-level hooliganism? Are we talking
a scale from 1 to 10,
Mm-hmm.
like 50.
Oh,
I think most of us have already actually died,
Yeah.
oh, that seems dreadfully interesting.
except Bluey and Cyrus.
Oh, good for you,
Yeah,
Bluey.
you wouldn't-
But that also not as fun.
yeah,
Do you want to try? I can tell you on something really bad. That could be fun.
I don't.
How about no?
We're not drunk enough for that just yet.
That happened to Geraldo.
Oh, I'll have to speak to them about
I guess I'll put this out there. Yes to resurrection and yes to reincarnation. Like a do not, instead of like
Yeah.
it's like a do not
There's no
resuscitate.
DNRs
Opposite of a
in this
DNR,
group.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no DNRs.
So, Blue is yes
We
to
all want to be
both.
resuscitated.
Just reiterating that. I know. I think Saraza has said in the past. Is that right? Saraza has said in the past that
Mhm.
don't to both. Essentially,
What do you
No,
mean?
Saraza is definitely being brought back.
Yeah.
That is absolutely
He's like,
unacceptable.
he's like,
Oh,
do
yeah.
DNR for me, and we're all like,
Yes, I
nah,
understand, yeah.
No, Saraza.
He has said this.
you'll be nothing but R&R.
It is up to you all whether you are going to follow that.
Is Saraza here?
Yeah, I
Sarah's
think he
here.
is.
Yeah, I think so.
Ulster fixes Saraza with a steely look. You're a godfather now.
Don't say that too much, or he might have a heart attack. And
Multiple
Loran is like,
times over.
Multiple times over. I'm not just talking about his kids.
an uncle.
You're an uncle.
True. Okay. Right.
Also, I know someone who has a crush on you.
So do I.
Who is it? He blushes tiny bit. Who is it?
Give you a hint, they're not in this room.
Doral?
Oh.
Um,
That's the only person I can think of who's not in this room who would be even interested.
No.
No,
It's to run or us.
No.
they're not. They're not in the mansion. Also, I'm sorry.
Sarah, you're clearly very oblivious, and your guessing is wildly wrong.
Okay.
So you have
I'm
to stay
kind
alive.
of relieved. I was going to have a discussion with him about being married and. Is it Marlena? No.
I'm not going to tell you who it
Yeah,
is.
I think you need to stop guessing, but
You need
just
to
know
stay
that
alive.
we know, and that's all that matters.
If
What
we're
if I want to?
Because you have to stay alive to find out who it is.
Yeah,
They're not ready to make their move yet.
Oh, this is my incentive.
Yes.
yeah, and you're clearly not ready to receive it because you have no idea who we're talking about.
Is it? Are they a man, a woman, or non-binary, or somewhere in between all of those?
The last hint you get is that it's a man.
Okay. My pool is narrowed down a fair bit because a lot of people we know are lesbians. Anyway.
Yay!
Stops talking and is awkward.
Let's go lesbians.
Let's go
go
lesbians.
Cool. Right.
We have several hours now if anyone wants to do anything.
This is very true. Right. You all have about an hour or so, maybe 2 hours before you're going to head off.
Actually, 2.5 hours.
You all have 2.5 hours before you're going to head off. If you want to describe an action which you could accomplish within that time, if you want to talk to anyone in the party, if you want to just say you spend that time relaxing, we can move through this time and head off to Melas. So I'll go round. Is there anything you guys want to do? Does anyone have anything planned specifically?
Yes.
Okay, Ulster, what do you want to do? You want to talk to around?
Yes, Ulster's been edging closer to Loran, and then he just sticks his shoulder against him.
Hello, Ulster. Should we perhaps go and have a private discussion?
Yes.
I can tell you've been watching that for a while. I will not withhold that.
Yes, you've been avoiding me.
No,
Very
I have.
hurtful.
Loran steps up and fixes his daisy chain and flounces off around the corner
Ulster trots after him.
to a private room. La la la
La la la la.
Flouncing and trotting, that seems to suit them both. You kind of just enter the room you've been sleeping in the last day or so. And Loran closes the door behind him and he says, I'm sorry if it seems like I'm avoiding. I really wasn't. It's just... It's quite a lot. And I wanted to be 100% certain you weren't caught in some kind of strange delusion and magic I would have needed to free you from. But speaking to the others, I am realizing that is not in fact the case, and I am in quite out of my depth.
I don't think you're out of your depth. I mean, it was probably always going to end up this way.
I suppose.
I wanted to say before we left, there were a couple of memories I wanted to share with you.
Please, I'd be... Honestly, I would just like to know a few things.
Good, excellent. Also, runs over to his bag and he pulls out his diary and he starts flicking through it until he finds the page with his wedding vows drafted on it. And
Ah!
then he's going to come over to Loran and present them to him. I added yours on the next page.
He is a little startled, but reads them, and I think he says to that, I do not think myself capable of words such as these.
You did roast me in the vows.
Yeah, that I'm certainly capable of. But do you know what? He looks a little bit awkward and he says, it seems that I've already told you this, and I was thinking about telling you before I can remember anyway, a long time ago. So I might as well just say, in spite of my ego and the amount at which I love myself, I seem to love you more. So let's just leave that at that. And I can tell you also love me too from what you've written here. So
I love you.
At least, ooh, he's just like his heart just like winces. He's like, nice. This is
That was the first thing I said after getting my tattoo. I looked at it and went, nice.
nice. Right, so I didn't put my bepanthen on,
That's okay, we can do it in the break.
but I washed it.
Do it in the break.
Oh,
Mine's not itchy, actually. Touchy!
oh yeah! This is the first session since we had these.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a bit hard to do.
I love it. Oh.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it's lavender and it's some lavender and a dahlia for Bran, of course, because we're mad. We're absolutely mad. We now have cats and tattoos and a book based around these two idiots.
It's different.
Anyway, wondrous.
You can go away for a month, you'll still find Baz hair everywhere.
It's true, yeah. Right, so after your spontaneous love confession, Lauren says, and I was being honest, I wasn't trying to avoid you. And I hope that's more obvious.
No, I understand why you would probably want to. It's a lot to process, and we're going to the essential end of the world, so that's why I dumped everything on you so suddenly.
I suppose I shouldn't be a deadbeat. Where are these children?
They're in your mansion.
So can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
My magic when I'm remembering, and the magic that I'm capable of now, how far away from each other are those things?
Well, I'm going to give you an instance of the most impressive moment of magic.
Okay. Nice.
Also,
Well,
thanks if you should share this.
Yeah, I was going to say, just wiped away the death.
Well, somebody died, and
Okay.
they couldn't have been brought back to life, but
Ouch.
you used magic that brought them back. And you kind of broke the universe. It was quite impressive. That's probably why you're
feeling so
tired.
jelly in my bones.
Yeah, I think that's why you're so tired.
Ah, I see. I
Mm.
see. He passes out.
Also catches him.
I'm awake. That was a moment of weakness.
Yeah.
Okay, I might need a moment to just figure this out because I can't remember being able to do magic like that.
Oh, you should have your spellbook somewhere.
Oh, wonderful. Let me just. This is the room we were sleeping in. He goes and he starts digging around and he does find a book of spells.
It's
Which is a
fortunate that
sexy
he's a
one.
wizard and
Yeah,
not
he's a
another
wizard.
spellcasting class where he has a nice written down summary of everything.
Everything he knows. Yeah.
Yep.
He starts flicking through and he's like, "Whoa, this is all super fucked up. You guys must have been in dire straits."
Yeah, you can do pretty cool stuff now.
Jesus, this cool. Some of this looks really painful.
Yes. I can turn into a dragon now.
Sick.
Yeah.
I like that. Right, I'm going to try this. And he will be able to, but it looks like he is exerting a little bit of effort.
Also gives him a back rub while he's doing it.
Thank you. He starts casting his mansion. And when it is ready, he pushes the door open. He's like, yes, this is quite adequate. Quite. And then his eyes fall on the sunflower and the snowdrop door. And he says, would that be them?
Yeah.
There is two.
I will introduce you. And he guides around over to the sunflower door. This is Shoan.
Hello, son! Or
Yeah.
whatever you wish to be in the future.
We created. Can see. Shoan was made in the city of Brass.
Why? No. I
Yeah.
don't need to know.
No, you don't need
And
to know.
This
And he walks over to the other door.
snowy one.
This is Zarina.
Oh, yes. Of course. Of course. The whole thing. So, okay. Hello, child of mine. Whatever you wish to be, you may be.
You did say you wanted a small army and referred to yourself as Loran de Dad.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't tell anyone else that.
You said that in front of everyone.
God damn it, no. They know my secret shame.
Also, the first time you said you love me, you also said that in front of everyone.
Jesus Christ. Who is that?
It was you, like a week from now.
Okay, that's fair.
Mm.
Well, if I said it so boldly, then I may as well make a big fool of myself now. And he sort of starts trotting towards the door and then stops himself and just says, actually, before I go make a fool of myself, I think I want to spend a little bit of time here.
You want to be in here?
Yeah, let's spend some time, just us.
Also kind of looks at the ground. Then he looks back at the man. We have like 2 hours
Fade to black.
It's the end of the world as well.
Somewhere you hear Cass go,
We will fade to
Would you
black.
Another child.
We will fade into the darkness.
Okay.
Zarina appears around the corner as all of you are drinking your drinks, and she says, in case any of you are getting a little low, and she whips out an array of cocktail mixes. It's like, she says, so, my darlings, are you actually ready to go? Is there anything else you need?
I think I asked last game Emma how about potion for Cass with her thing. I've lost track of all sorts of days, and
I'm keeping track of it.
yeah, does she need a new one? Is she good? How long until she's possessed again?
So the idea would be that she would have been good if the whole teleportation situation hadn't messed up. You currently have 3 days left,
Right,
which is a bit tight.
right.
But
So
did
if
you
you
also
ask-
make a couple of them?
If you ask Serena, she probably will have one to give you.
Okay, cool.
And it'll be an instance of rolling again.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I think
Anyone have anything they need?
Cass points to her eyes and is like,
But of course. And was that the sound of the door going?
no.
Tom's cooking here. That might have been.
Yeah, it was. Hang on.
Our door.
Yeah.
Oh
that's-
right. Oh.
Okay.
Is it?
No, it's someone.
No, it's someone hammering.
It's a building site, Emma. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Bluey should prepare something. I don't know what.
My sister graduated.
Oh, she got done it now.
Oh,
Right.
she looks pretty.
Yeah, my mum said, we've remembered that you need flowers for graduation now, because they turned up to my graduation without any flowers, and I sent them to buy me flowers.
Nice.
Her flowers are bigger than mine. Just saying.
Well, it's a bit time to prepare. You may had to go and just get
Bigger than
them.
my flowers.
My parents didn't get me any flowers, but my friend did.
Yeah, my friend also got me flowers.
My
Yeah, her flowers are
I-
bigger than mine.
Look, you know.
graduation was sad because the graduation itself was great,
My friend bought me
and
flowers.
then afterwards we went to go get brunch.
She gave my parents so much sash. She was like, "Can you get
I
any flowers?"
told my parents what I wanted, and I had to go hand in a form.
Mm.
And I ran all the way up this massive hill, handed in my form, ran back to the brunch place. And when I got there, they hadn't made my food because even though my parents had ordered 3 meals, they thought they were, because there were only 2 of them, they only wanted 2 meals. And one of the meals I wanted was the same as what my dad had ordered. And they'd already sent the chef home. So I was like, well, what am I going to eat? It's my graduation day.
So shit.
Yeah.
That is
And so my mum gave me her food, of course she would. And I was like, no, because now I feel upset. But my mum's not got any food. And I got really upset at the waitress because it was her fault entirely.
Yeah.
You know what, usually it's not the waitstaff's fault.
But that
In
wasn't.
fact, It was completely her fault because she independently heard the table
And
the third
assumed.
chair at it say 3 meals and assumed it was 2. Idiot. Anyway, I will never be upset at anyone else except that lady. And then we left immediately that day, so I could even go somewhere else that I liked.
That's really sad.
Anyway.
Back to a different type of sadness.
I should
I really need to quickly just.
I think Bluey would announce to everyone else there. Okay, we've got 2 hours. I'm gonna try and sleep.
Aww.
Some people do other things. Bluey sleeps.
Is there anything
Um,
else you need?
A means to lock myself in the room, but I lock it. But I do it in such a way that I can't easily unlock it without having to think really hard and looking at the thing. So, or maybe just like chair. Yeah. I
Serena
need to
says,
sleep.
I can tie you up.
I don't think. I think I need free space to move a bit.
I brought all this rope in for nothing. Cass, would you like me to tie you up?
Cass definitely looks like she's considering it, but she's going to look to Slia and see if Slia wants to she wants to check in on Slia.
If anybody is concerned, it's like a nice hug. I can tie you up, you can put your shirt on over the top, and then
That's
it's
funny.
like a nice constriction feeling of like being hugged. Like it's an anti-anxiety thing. Anyway, she wafts away and leaves a potion for you, Cass.
Cass pockets it.
She winks.
Um,
Striking Serena vibes off my to-do list.
yeah, I think definitely Cass is looking to
Speak to Slia.
Slia. Yeah.
Easily enough. Bluey, I think to what you're saying, Sarah says, I can hold onto the door really hard and make sure no one can open it. Or we can make a password between us. And the password could be something you really have to think about the answer to.
Okay.
Cool, okay. Nice. Follow me, and he will lead you away. Leaving Cass, Slia, now Drunk roll up with you at the moment. So it is just the two of you currently. Sorellaress is probably in earshot, but they always are. Apparently Gerald is here too, and Shu is curled up just out of sight by the fire, which isn't too far from you either if you want to go sit on some proper sofas.
Yeah, I think they'd probably go sit on some proper sofas.
Yeah, okay. You go and you sit
Cuddle
by
up
the
with
fire,
Shu.
and Shu comes over and puts her head in your lap, Slayer, and then Tozatau emerges from her fur and starts chewing on your foot, Cass. And it's quite a nice little scene. There is a moment when you hear footsteps and you're worried that it's Sorellaress, but it is simply Gerald, now discovered, free to walk out in the open, and he just kind of gently places a loaf of dinner rolls, a plate of dinner rolls in front of you. They're fresh, they're warm, they look nice, and then just leaves without a single word.
As he goes, Cass will shout thank you.
Yeah, Slia just says, thank you.
Thank you.
Right, I will not perceive you.
Then immediately runs away.
Sorry, was it established at the very end of last session a bit more about Gerald, or is he just here making
Gerald
things?
is Sorellaress's like pet husband thing. Who's just been living here this entire time and no one's ever gone in to see where the food comes from. Therefore,
My name's Gerald.
never ever met him before.
My name's Gerald.
Yes, it is. I did name Gerald. Yes.
Hello,
Wonderful.
my friend of many years, Gerald.
Hello. So you sit. The atmosphere is
Just
calm, and you can feel the
Clang.
heat of the fire, the crackling of the wood. Is there anything you wish to say to each other?
I think Cass will sort of do like, I'm going to do it with Nils, because I imagine that they're like sat next to each other, munching on some rolls, and I think Cass will just sort of like put her shoulder.
Also having sex with around.
Yeah, I know this isn't you. You are currently Slia.
Okay.
And then
Thanks, Leah.
and she'll sort of like nudge her shoulder into Slia's side gently, not an aggressive nudge, and just sort of
Slia just wraps her arm around Cass.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Cass will just sort of. So, do you want to talk about anything?
I don't think I really have anything else to talk about.
How are you feeling about Loran?
Better.
That's something.
How are you?
I think Cass. Oh, is she going to roll a deception?
You can
Yeah.
answer honestly if you wish to.
No, I think she's going to roll a deception because she's worried. She she doesn't want. It's like Slea's gone through the ringer, and she doesn't want to put any further stress on Slea, so she's going to roll a deception.
And Slea's going to contest it with an insight because she wants to know genuinely how Cass is.
Oh, it's a 7. 18.
These are hard to read.
They are hard to read.
Well,
Ah, damn. Okay,
so
you can
let me give you the full disgusting number of 31.
Oh, okay,
yes, they have really good
you
insight.
definitely get it. Okay, Cass. You can tell that Cass, when she's like, "Oh, a bit better," you could tell she's lying. It's not true at all. She's fat, and you could also tell that she didn't want to necessarily tell you. But with that great an insight, you know it's because she doesn't want to put anything on you.
I mean,
Cass.
You know.
This song's on Allstairs background music playlist.
I'm fine. Really.
I'm
What's
glad
on your mind?
What's on your mind, monkey bag?
that I keep making rash decisions and potentially ruining a lot of other things.
No.
Like what?
She sort of gestures at her general massage.
That was good though, because you threw Elijah into the multiverse.
Yes. And then her wings appear. And then she'll be like, she'll do like, I mean, this is just flavour, so if this is new, but like the sand, because she's got a sand spell, so like basically a long list of her rash decisions, which are sort of.
I completely understand what you're going for.
Yeah.
Cass, in that moment, you are an eclectic whirlwind of fairy wings, sand tornadoes, teleportation circles embedded into your skin, and
It's freaky and eclectic.
and for some reason, mentally, all of the hookups you've had throughout this campaign flash before your eyes as well.
Cass definitely would have hooked up with Loran if.
Oh,
I think so.
interesting.
That would have been like when the masked lady gets with the slightly more feminine guy.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? And also you have a vague memory of your family as well. Your family from before this one.
Yeah, I think because Cass has spoke to her mother recently for the first time in her entire life. I think Cass is just a melting pot of bad stuff. So
For sure.
I don't think she will. I don't think she'll really say much. I think she'll just use the magic to sort of show her.
Oh my god, do you know what it's like? It's like that scene in Narnia with Mr. Tumnus when he makes all the images appear in the fire. It's like that's what you're doing, but with your magic and like fairies and sand. Anyway, cool. And Slayer, you can respond to that.
Would you, like, with all the visuals, what was the last thing Cass actually said?
It was. To be honest, I don't know if she'd have actually. Yeah, I think she'd have just basically been like about making rash, bad decisions.
No scratch.
Rash or not, they've gotten you to where you are now, and we can't go back and change them. We can only control what we do moving forward.
Emma, could you turn Aileen up a little bit? Thank you.
Slay was being quiet. I'm sorry. I can speak.
No, I know, but like I don't want you to change the tone. I just want to be able to hear you better. I'm also a terrible parent. Oh. Yes, continue. Sorry.
That was just what she said. Was just the. It's in the past now, and we can only control what we do moving forward.
It is good. Cass will take like a deep breath, and instead of now eating the bread roll, you see she's like sort of tearing it into like little bits of bread confetti. And
Gerald in the corner is like, no, eat my hearing no rolls.
Yeah, I think Cass is probably just starting to cry a little bit.
Everyone's so sad.
Slea's just kind of like gently stroking her head.
And I think, yeah, I think Cass is. I don't know if she has anything really to say, to be honest. I think she's just a bit of a.
When you start crying, Shu lifts her head and sort of starts switching over to make sure that you're also under her wing or under her paw. A little warm anchor for you.
Cass will sort of lean into it.
Yeah. You notice there is ash on her fur, but there aren't any actual burns kind of touching Shu's skin. This obviously being remnants of when Loran would put up his wall of fire.
Can Cass start brushing that soot out?
Of course I am.
Slea wants to do the same.
I kind of imagine that, I don't know, I think Cass would have taken like the Slea's hand and then with the other hand will be brushing the soot.
Mutual shoe grooming.
Cass, you don't need to worry about me. So, if you have things you need to let out, let me be here for you.
I'm not used to having people there to listen.
I'm here
As
now.
you two
Yeah.
They make me cry.
as you two relax by this fire, pan away slightly. Bluey. Sarah escorts you upstairs and says, right, so we need to figure out a password for when you want to escape. When you want to leave, rather. So maybe like parsnips or something. Or Melas. What's all you just confused about? Like, what's 10 times 17?
170.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe,
You have to think about that one. Good.
maybe give me a maths problem.
Okay. Oh. Yay, maths and D&D.
No.
Okay. So.
Also, if I'm not correctly answering a maths problem in an hour and a half or less, or maybe just an hour, an hour or less, then you can shake me awake.
Completely understood.
Full disclosure, my plan for Bluey is for her to try and fall asleep.
Okay.
And to try and communicate with, see if other people in Melas can also be reached through this kind of mist.
Interesting.
Sort of
situation. Perfect. Before we do that, I think we should probably get the cats back up because they might eat the moon.
That's true.
I'm just going to really quickly close the windows to get the cats upstairs, and then we can continue.
Very good. Secure the cats. Ooh, Aelin. A good meme. I'll post it on. I'll put it in the Discord. It's just a Tumblr post. I mean, you can call that a meme, can't you? Memes are just anyway. Oh, thank you. Mm. Sorry if the crunching sounds. I can mute them.
Like, it
This
is
is really
perfectly
nice.
fine.
This is very nice.
Salad for it.
I might just get the side salad later. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you turn
I turned it down a bit.
temperature or the fan?
Temperature.
Okay.
So it's down to 23, so it'll boot back up if it gets lower.
Oh,
Yes.
Mr. Philly.
Okay. Bluey, you want to go and try to commune with people with Melas in the similar ways you did before. Okay.
Mhm.
You head into your room and you start sort of putting together, I think, a little bed, like a little nest. Make an intelligence check for me.
He has a funny tummy. You're up.
15.
15. With a 15, you get the impression that having, your piece of lapis and that being a kind of anchor for Melas, it might be a good idea to take out some of the other things people from Melas have given you as a, way to kind of like help center Melas in your mind and just like meditate on it.
She gets out I think there's a letter from Itie from a long while ago.
There is indeed.
And a little drawing from Finnegan.
You pull out the letter and the drawing from Finnegan. And you remember Itie's letter was more of a drawing itself as well. And it just says for Bluey with a smiley face on it. And you see Bluey with your arms kind of strong in blue and red and a little heart. And then a drawing of Bluey and Itie holding hands. And then from Finnegan, you see a drawing of Melas and a row of people all linking arms, those being Marlena, Finnegan, and then obviously Finnegan scratched out and then changed into a tiefling, and Itie with you as well. And as you look at these things, you put the lapis down as well, and you start folding yourself into the covers, and you come to sleep. Now, as you rest, taking about 10 minutes or so to kind of like meditate on the lapis, you kind of turn it in your hands and give me an investigation check, please.
Ooh. I believe that's no modifiers. Still investigate. Yes, that's an 18.
18, okay, very good. With an 18, you look at the stone and you're starting to wonder why it looks so luminescent. Genuine lapis doesn't necessarily have that sort of translucency usually to it. But the longer you kind of stare at it, you also realize that it doesn't seem to be a light filtering through the stone. It seems to be coming from within the stone itself.
I think she might put it under the cover of a blanket. Just is
it glitters in a obscure but magical way. You can't quite put a finger on, but you feel like you've seen before somewhere. And it's in that moment that you sort of fall back to sleep. And in this shallow sleep, you feel memories and images of Melas clouding your mind, and the mists fill the vision behind your eyes. And you're in that place again, you're moving. What are you looking for?
I think first and foremost, IT and Finnegan. But if that's not possible, then anyone from Melas, who's
Oh.
like even just sort of like semi-strangers, like the Bluey sort of knows, but doesn't know the name of. So you don't have to come up with a bunch of names.
Don't worry, I spent a long time putting together as much info as I could about everything you encountered to do with Melas so far.
Oh my god!
I know.
You bringing up all those Google Docs.
I know, there were so many. I really was going for it.
Fuck. I appreciate this. I appreciate the depth.
Don't worry. So, you move through this space and you feel like you're walking on familiar ground. You feel as if potentially you are even walking through Melas as you knew it. Your home, your memories of that place. And the stone seems to be pulling you around rather than you choosing your direction. And you're taken to a place you and IT have visited together, your father's grave. The flowers that you placed there are still in bloom. In fact, they have been pollinated and their seeds have spread, and it's just a grove of wildflowers growing over his headstone now. The home that you spent most of your life in, it's shadowed and it's misted, opaque, but you can see it. And beyond the coastline. And you're pulled down there, and then the mists cloud again, and when they part, you realise why all of these places look so shadowed and look so translucent. It's because you're not actually here. When you were walking through the Shadowfell, you saw everything in inverse, and the mists, rather than transporting you to Melas itself, are showing you an impression. This isn't real, and you can tell. It's putting together your memories as well as what the mists themselves know. You walk deeper.
Oh yes. We'll keep following. I think she'd want to like maybe just like confirm that by can her face through things.
Like when you spoke to Solari and Lapis, interacting is a bit harder. It isn't the same as if you were actually there. However, you do see people moving. The banners, usually of green, are changed to orange. And from just looking, this brief chance you get, based off of your memory, you can't tell if this is 100% real. Everything seems to be fine. But there is a sort of wrongness, like this is a bit uncanny. You're not looking at Melas as it exists now. All of your memories and what you've learned and what people have told you in the past few hours, few days, few weeks about Melas is compounding into this sort of collage of unquiet, urban imagery. And it's what you know, but it's not the same.
If she were to like think about, I think there's like a central kind of town square thing with a fountain. I'm not sure. I think it's on the map. Maybe I'm imagining that.
So there is a central square with a fountain in the middle, which is at the very bottom of the kind of winding road that follows the cliff path down. Other places in the city, you have the bridge that crosses the cliff sides with the pavilion in the middle, which is like the central piece of architecture, like the most beautiful piece. Like it's like an aqueduct almost underneath. And there's this big, like, white pavilion. It's all very utopian, all very Time Machine by H.G. Wells, except underneath they're all being eaten.
Does she hear or see any signs of other people?
You see people walking around, smiling and greeting one another. And as you kind of see all of that and you take that in, you notice it's fuzzy as well. This is like an impression of what's actually there. Bluey, it seems what you're gathering from this is that you can't fully walk through Melas in your dreams alone. If you want to be able to see what's happening, you have to be there yourself. And Lapis and Solari were able to help you to an extent, talk to you. But the mists can't take over your consciousness somewhere. They can open up communication, but they can't transport you if you're not going there, you know. And Saraza, Saraza's voice suddenly goes, "What's 15 times 8?" And you are slammed into the door, and you feel your nose kind of collide. Ow! You take 1 point of damage.
Sorry, did he say 15 times 8?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, let me give myself 1 point of damage.
That's all right.
15 times 8, so 80 plus 40, I guess. 120?
You're correct, yes. I did that maths by splitting it 10 and 5 in half and adding. So when you say 120, the door clicks open and Saraza's like, "Are you okay?" "Oh my gosh, your nose is bleeding."
Yeah, I'm fine.
A medic, and starts pulling you downstairs.
I think it's fine.
He immediately brings you downstairs to Sleer and Cass, without really letting you explain. Sleer, medic, please. Medical assistant.
It's fine. It's fine. Like she just tries to get a sleeve and just goes.
No. Sleer pulls out like a hanky and just helps Bluey stop the blood.
Thank you. You're not meant to lie down with these. You're meant to stay upright, right?
Indeed.
I think that's the go-to with nosebleeds. If it's like the thinking, the general thinking is that like lying down is better because then it doesn't kind of come out. But like it's apparently not great. Anyway, she stays standing up.
I've always stood standing up. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do. I'm like,
I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, good. Anyway. Thank you.
Are you all right?
I mean, okay. I thought I could learn. Well, I did learn something. I thought I could learn something specific, and I wanted to try and see if old people, because maybe they were sleeping during the day, but I didn't have time. Okay. So Cass and this is like Cass and Chu and Saraza and a few others in that space, right?
Yeah. You do not know where. You do not know where the others have gone.
I think she'd explained that. Okay. Last night I had a dream, but I think I was actually talking to one of the last acolytes of Carmen Trand, and Lapis from the Shadowfell. And I feel like I walked through a similar space, but couldn't quite. Maybe I just have to go there.
At which point you hear Sorellaras's voice from behind you, peer down, and Sorellaras says, "Speaking of which, yes, I think it's wise of you to go there. Now, how about we all gather by the door and say half an hour?"
Okay. Thank you.
Quite all right. In fact, I think I hear your friends coming down now. And also Loran. Both from top of the stairs and join you both looking fine.
Relaxed. Content.
Content.
Also, holding Loran's hand. He looks very happy.
And so does Loran. Loran offers to help put together all the stuff you would need, loading it onto the magic carpets, etc. And Sarazo gives him a wide berth, but it is not quite as animus is not a word, animosity. Not quite as hateful as it was before. Now, as you're all preparing to leave, Bluey, you're helping kind of put everything together.
Oh, I have an idea actually to transition for this. Really quickly.
Yeah, I was going to do it just now.
No, I was going to say, Orsa's probably trying to put on his armor, but because he's being brought back healthier, it's probably a little bit too small for him.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So also, you're trying to put on your armor, and it's like squeezing and pinching in all the wrong places. You're like, "Rrr."
I've put on weight.
Loran says, "It's not a bad thing." At which point, you hear Dural and Crawl entering the room. Blue?
Lily, can Brian wear medium armor?
Yes, but he's still very small.
I think, Bluey, your armor is, considering you're 6'6", it's going to be a bit too big for him.
She has medium half plate in her inventory.
Which actually Slia was wearing, so it would probably fit Ulster.
Guys,
just let this happen.
Wait.
All right.
Dural appears, and
we appreciate your helpfulness, but not now.
If you don't want big metal half plate, I can give you some of my armor as well.
Also looks Dural up and down. It's okay.
And maybe we can talk alone.
Okay. Lala.
Lala? Oh, when will my life begin?
Lala.
I could spend one day out there.
Lala.
He really wants to go outside. It's his dream.
He's so cute. Oh my god.
Never, Lala.
No. One day
Going outside. No, never.
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
Never ever.
Droll kind of looks around at all of you and looks at you, Bluey, holding the half plate and says, maybe, Slia, you could wear this one, and I'll give mine to Ulster, and then everybody's happy.
I'm happy with what I have. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. But yes, Ulster, and he starts to kind of take you away.
Double armor?
That she picks
Pixels
her up and then just disappears into a shadow, and everyone's like,
Oh, oh, what? Droll brings you into the shadows.
It's very dark in here.
Yeah, everyone says that. I don't know why. Anyway, he looks a little bit uncomfortable, and then he just says, "Before you go, I wanted to say that I'm sorry. I've not been in my own head for the last few hours or days, and
yes.
what?
Yes.
You said something else.
I thought you said kiss. I was like, what?
No.
I've been really heavily, I suppose, disassociated from everything that's happening. And I've spoken to Paul about it. Sorry.
No, I spoke to him too.
It's my fault. Because, and you can't say it's not, because I brought Sobek to Elijah. And I brought Elijah to the tomb.
It's, in the end, it is Elijah's fault. And we've already forgiven you for what you've done. So to blame you would be going back on our forgiveness, I think.
But how can I be forgiven at all when Cass looks the way she looks now? Because of the tone, because of me, and how you've died.
Not because of you. I think that, obviously I can't speak on behalf of Cass or anyone else, but now that you have time alone, you have to work on forgiving yourself first. You've done a lot to help us. And I don't blame you. I wholly blame Elijah. I blame Carol, who died, but I find it hard to place that much blame on this version of him. Please just take the time to think all that over.
I've never really thought that highly of myself.
I know. Neither have I of myself, so we have that in common.
Good luck. And I meant it about the armor. I can lend you something.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably appreciate that. When Duran brought me back, he brought me back a bit more healthy, I guess.
It suits you better. If you had been brought up in the Underdark, you would have been thrown into the sea and fed to sharks.
Yep, and if I was brought up in the Messiah, I would have been locked in a room for 20 years.
Yeah, you were though. That's actually that's different from what I was saying.
I was joking.
Oh. I'm sorry, that was weird. Yes. This, and he will turn around and he'll bring up his armor, which is a kind of in full drow style, a spine of like metal plates, and at each plate fits in different panels, so you can customize your armor to your weak points. And as he's kind of affixing it to you, Joral says, "You know, the most advanced of us and those who I trained with used to actually wear armor over their most protected places and leave their most vulnerable places open to try and trick their opponents, because then they would assume automatically the covered places were the most vulnerable, and then they would be able to get a hand over on them. But I don't think we should do that. I don't think this is good. That's a good tactic for you."
I mean, I'm not a melee fighter, but if someone does hit me,
Well, I would actually prefer it if you covered up every. And he starts putting every single plate on. He's like, "This looks easier. Yes, good.
Thanks, Charles.
You're welcome." And if you want to just discard them, you can just snap them at the front. Like if you imagine if you were butterflying someone's ribs, you just pull really.
I think I want to keep all your armor intact.
Okay. I had a weird upbringing.
That's okay. I think most of us did, to be honest.
Yeah. I'm also going to go and apologise to Cass. So if you want to familiarise yourself with this armour, and Sleer, and Bluey, oh my, everyone.
Why don't you just go say goodbye to everyone, rather than apologising necessarily?
And he starts to kind of waft out the shadows and
also holds onto the back of his shirt.
Ah!
Oh, sorry. Can I give you a hug before we leave?
I'm open to hugging.
I think I am too. And he will hug Drum.
Drum will hug him back. And you feel something. Wait, pass me Basil's in.
Wait. I'm getting him. I'm getting him.
Quick. Yeah. Oh, wait. He drops from the heavens. And you feel something start to wiggle up between you.
Is it Melas?
And Valis is like, "I want to be hugged."
Hello, Melas.
It's like a hug. Thank you. Valis is not Basil, but he says, "I want a hug. I'm not being hugged. It's silly."
Hi, Valis.
Hello. I heard every part of your conversation, and I want to know what you upbringing, Joel. I mean,
has Velas been here the whole time?
Yeah, Gerard told me to sit. Dad taught me to sit in the shadows. It was cool.
Also retrieved from the palace.
Hi. Daniel and Kev were trying to force me into a little morning suit, and I thought it was weird, so I left. I mean, they also stole me away. But yeah.
I mean, you were left in their care, so they didn't steal you.
Yeah, I was abandoned. It was horrible.
For a day.
For a day. Yeah, sucks.
Do you know how long I was abandoned for, Valis?
Don't care, and starts walking away.
6 months of the year!
Wow, that sounds really boring. No wonder you turned out so boring. You look scary. Why are you looking at me scary? No.
Also just hisses at him.
No! He starts hiding behind your arms as you brought it on yourself. And all three of you guys emerge, and everyone, Valis is kind of clinging to Gerald's ankles.
He's a scaredy cat.
Looking scared. I'm not a scaredy cat.
He's scared.
No, I'm not.
So scared.
I'm only half cat.
Scared.
Nah. And
half cat, half spider.
Spider cat. Spider cat.
Does whatever a spider cat does.
Where's Karul?
Come
get your son.
Guys, we'll get to all of these. We've got loads of people to deal with.
Come get your son.
I'm doing it one at a time so I can manage the NPCs. Karul is here. Dral and Karul entered at the same time. So the rest of you kind of left. Karul sits and kind of taps his foot and just looks at you, Bluey, Cass, and Sleer, and Sarah, I suppose, as well, and just says, "So all of you are leaving, and I'm staying behind. Well, good luck. If you need my expertise from afar, I suppose Sorelleras's door is never really that far away. No, nothing to say to me. Nothing at all.
Goodbye, and I hope
we win.
Wish you a good life.
Yes, I suppose we won't really be seeing each other after this. I've already spoken to Ulster, and that's been made very clear. Not that I have any objections.
She offers her hand forward for like a handshake, but is also like, I could offer a hug.
Yeah, how cruel. Interesting.
Slay's saying her goodbyes. Karul can have a hug.
Interesting. I don't think any of us hugged cruel.
As is the distinct question, if Crawford should stab him.
So you have like the weirdest, most like terrifying hug of your life.
It's like Voldemort with the Draco.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, Slaya gives him a very genuine hug.
Uh,
Also, walks in on this is like, huh?
Interesting. Hello, also. Right.
What
So
are you doing?
I'm hugging.
You don't hug.
I'm learning to do new things, like tell my son that I love him.
Oh.
Hi, Melas. Ha! I'm scared of him, and points to Ulster. You should be. He has big teeth. Droll, did you do that? I did, yeah. I gave him that. He points and Crawl's like, that looks very intense. Good luck. And he really means it this time. And he looks a little bit like anxious and he just says, like, and only the highest of insight of you can get that.
Me and Slayer.
Castle. Meh?
Yeah. He sort of like shifts his weight slightly and then goes to stand by Dural and Valis and just says, I suppose then that once you leave this room, our deal is done. There's no more we can offer each other and no more we can do for one another.
Can I insight check him?
Yeah.
Same?
I'm going to try.
Everybody wants to try.
26.
Okay.
Ugh, 9.
Also a 26. Do we
Nice.
both roll the same thing?
Maybe, yeah. I rolled a 15.
Same.
26.
I got an unnatural 20.
9.
Look at Malala. He's just standing up. On
You know, we
the-
still have 3 levels to go.
I know.
Yeah, we've got ages, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a year.
We're all gonna get steroids injections. And then after a few days, the level goes down one.
As you insight check him, those of you who scored high enough, sorry, Cass, you realise that he's quite wistful. Like, sad is too strong. He has a sort of like the wind is kind of like, a little bit of his gusto is gone from him. He just says, you brought me back to be a guide of sorts, whilst your other Taoshu was inoperable, I assume. And, well, now he's back in action. And Loran says, I did not appreciate that, but okay.
We had another one, points at Sarza.
I'm very aware. Hello. And as kind of Cruel says that, he says, inoperable, blah, 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 blah. My work is done, so I assume, and looks over to Serenoras, that the contract will be somewhat fulfilled. And Serenoras says, oh, that's not something one side can decide. Instead, you made the contract, are you satisfied?
It's not fulfilled until we destroy it. That's what's written on the contract.
Until you destroy
The contract. Karul's contract.
Well, there you are. And Crawl says, oh, right, yes, I forgot about that. So I just have to rely on all of you to do that, whilst I'm not there to supervise, nor
Yes.
is Joel, nor are any of my allies. Okay. Suppose you are my.
You don't really have any friends.
No. But I've gone by.
Maybe you can try and make some more.
Well, Sobek is still passed out up there. Maybe I can see if he still likes me.
Did Sobek ever like you?
Well, after some weird charm that day. Besides, he was racist to Joral, so he kind of owes me one.
Also, we'll go over and put out his hand to shake Crawls.
I forgot that Sobek was racist.
I know.
We all forgot Sobek was racist.
That was before the Drow discourse, and he kind of was like, and I became more enlightened as I began. But it's not something I'm going to erase. If it's my mistake, it stays in the game that I've left. Anyway, as he holds out his hand, he says, "Goodbye, goodbye." He says, "I suppose this is me the last time and the only time that it really is out of my hands, trusting you." I would like to be free from my contract, if possible.
I know. And as I said before, we're not done yet. So it's not the last time. And he'll shake his hand and let go. So don't be too sad that you're saying goodbye. And he'll walk back to the room.
You get the impression that he's not quite sad is too strong a word.
Also is messing with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crawl just rolls his eyes and steps back. And Bala says, "Right, goodbye everyone, I'm going to," and starts walking towards the door, and Joral's like, "No."
No, wait, also runs over and scoops Melas up for a hug.
Yeah, okay. Bala's like, "What? But we're not parting."
And
We're
he
together.
swings him around.
We're going to the fight.
No, Melas.
I'm fighting.
But when we come back, I will turn into a dragon and give you a ride around the sky. Do you like that?
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah.
Pass him to draw.
Sick. I like it. Right. Blue Sparks, thank you for letting me ride on your shoulders.
I imagine that Draw's holding him like this.
Yep. All those times in the Feywild where you were my playmate, I enjoyed it. It was fun.
I enjoyed it too.
If you ever find out where all those orphans that I was friends with have gone, I'd like to see them again because all my friends are adults and I think it's a bit weird.
I guess Blue would look to Saraza and to Cass, like that they Saraza in particular.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll find them off. We can have a play day once all this is done. And then Valis is like, "Okay, cool. Dad, turn me towards Slayer." And Valis is turned towards you, Slayer. And Valis just says,
Mm-hmm.
So he just gets down on his level.
"Completion.
Completion.
Complacent."
So it gives him a big hug.
You feel a fake knife stab into your neck. But if you had underestimated me, you'd be dead right. But I like you.
People always underestimate me, but then they turn their back, and I'm like, ooh.
I'm joking. It's not a real knife. I would never do that to you.
So
And
he
then
just kind of
Valis
looks up to Joral like, "Can I speak to you?"
Well, I'll just, and then Joral turns Valis towards Cass. "Cass, thank you for Can I have the snake?"
Valis wants Barry.
Cass is very considerate. She would have done it without thinking, except for the fact that her magic's on the fritz. So I'm currently relying on Barry to be like
Solid.
I think Cass will.
I'll leave him to your
I think Cass will come to like go to eye level with Valis. She probably is eye level with Valis.
Yeah,
isn't
Valis
she?
is quite...
I think she'll approach him and be like, "I don't want any of your cat's fur. I've got enough."
I just pulled that off the floor.
Valis, currently, she gestures at herself, kind of in need of Barry.
Yeah,
but
a bit weird.
I am. I do look weird, don't I?
I am quite weird.
And
What's wrong with your face?
so many things,
Okay.
Valis. But yes, when
This said teases back. What's wrong with yours? And he pinches
and then
Valis' cheeks.
Cass just leans down to Valis and is just like, he's just jealous, Valis. It's all good.
My dad say I'm very pretty.
My dad is very pretty too.
You're fierce. Valis and never let Brian say otherwise. And then Cass is like, I will, as soon as this is all done, and as long as we all make it out, I will personally deliver Barry to you. Because I'm sure Barry would love to defend you, and I would love that for you. But currently, I'm very sorry, but I do need him a little bit longer. Is that okay?
Yeah, I can deal with that. Thank you. And he gives you a hug.
Cass returns the hug.
He is turned towards Sarrazin. We did not interact that much. Goodbye. Turns towards Loran. You're a bit strange. And gives him a hug. And then towards you, Ulster. And he says, I'm going to do as I've learned. And reaches out and grabs a chunk of your hair and just knifes it off.
He's holding like a meter of hair. Oh. Does it look okay?
Loran's like, you've got a fringe now. That's my
Yeah.
fringe.
I had a fringe when we first met, and he sweeps it forwards. Thanks, Valis. Hold on to that.
Just in case. And Droll is like,
It's a lot of hair. It's okay. I wasn't expecting a haircut, but I'm used to having bangs.
and Valis starts braiding it into a little rope.
It's like a full-on rope, yeah.
Yeah. Droll steps back, Crawl steps back and says, right, well, Celia, would you mind helping us put Valis away and then we can all wave goodbye? Maybe we should bring Sobek down to
I think
say goodbye as well.
Cass would like to speak to Gerald privately, if at all possible.
Sure thing.
One last
Everybody
thing-
wants Droll.
One last thing with the hair, also just points at Crawl. Do not clone me. Do not do it.
I'm not.
That's my only caveat.
That's
You
not
do not
right.
get to touch the hair.
I didn't even clone myself. That's all Droll.
Yes,
Droll's
but
like,
you
I
are
know
scary,
how.
and I know how you are.
No, I'm not actually.
You don't need to explain yourself. Just don't
You
do
know
it.
what? You're not going to believe me
No.
even if I tell the truth.
No, I really don't.
Okay. Droll steps forward and says, I'm the one who knows how.
Don't. Neither of you clone me.
No, I'm joking. Anyway. Droll and Cruel both promise not to bring you back and to leave that to your father.
Yes.
I
I don't
they
want to be
trust him.
cloned. Oh, no,
Also, Cruel would not clone Ulster.
Yes, but Ulster is scared of it.
Okay.
That is not out. Come on, that's not out of the box.
Valis says, it's my hair, no one else gets it.
Exactly. My hair, no one else gets it.
Wait, just pull off a chunk of his hair.
My hair, no one else gets it.
Yeah, it genuinely just comes off.
Okay, let's put that up.
Right, so we've lined up 2 conversations with Gerald. We have Sleer and then we have Cass.
Yeah.
Can we have a quick
And then let's have a quick break first, and then let's get into that. And you guys can. All right. Shall we do about? Should we come back about
Ridiculous.
15 minutes?
All right.
Okay. Perfect. See you in 25 past.
What?
You want
Good boy.
No, I want it.
What the hell? No, stop it. You look scary. Okay. So, Gerald looks at you, Sleer.
He looks at me.
Let's go talk privately, and you can have a moment. You get
He looks at
thinking
me.
aside. Crawl goes to put Valis away.
Can I look at
And it's harder a job than it sounds.
We just hear Crow
Sorry.
going, stop it, stop it.
No, won't you left me? Ha! This is my recompense.
You don't know what he's doing.
So
You are outside with Gerald in the shadows as usual.
Celia takes
sorry,
off
Dalton.
her cloak, and she kind of like folds it up, and on top of it she puts the dagger that her mum gave her, the moonlight dagger.
Yes.
Your bed.
Oh.
I can't accept these.
I cannot accept this.
I need you to hold on to the dagger for Valis for when he gets older. And
You could look to himself.
you know that's not gonna happen. It's okay.
He takes it and takes the cloak. And doesn't register when you say it's okay, and he just says,
The cloak is for Castell.
I'm holding on to these for you. Don't say otherwise.
I want you to be the one to give the cloak to Castell.
Mm.
Please.
Very subtle nod. And he'll put it away.
Celia offers to give him a hug.
Okay. I will give him a hug. Give them a hug.
It's okay if this is goodbye.
Nush, nush!
There will be no goodbyes.
No goodbyes.
You might be able to say it, but I won't. I'm not gonna say goodbye. You can't make me.
I wouldn't want to. Thank you.
No one can make me do anything. I'm not French.
You can't make me do anything. Alice has to get it from somewhere.
No one can make me do anything.
I'm Jerome.
He will give you a hug and just hold you there.
Thank you.
And no, I don't think he says anything else. I'll just hug you.
And Celia returns to the group.
Cass, you're waiting outside, and once Slea's had her turn, you can go in as well if you wish to.
I appear.
Yeah, from the shadows.
From shadows.
I channel my inner troll.
From the pink mist.
Mist.
Yeah.
The shadows look very pink all of a sudden. This when you come in this time, he looks a little bit sheepish, and in a very similar fashion to how he addressed Ulster, he says to you, Cass, before we talk, I just want to. I mean, you might not want me to. I want to apologise. I know that you're going through it. And, a lot of that is because of me. Directly, even if you won't believe it. I gave Elijah the tome, and that's what pushed you this far. I'm sorry.
I think Cass, goes through puberty. Cass will go up to Dral and sort of put a hand on his arm and just goes, I've made mistakes too. Celia, last night, an hour ago, 5 minutes ago. At some point in the timeline, Celia said to me that what's done is done, and we can't dwell in the past.
This morning.
I don't know how easy that is for me to do, so I can imagine it won't be easy for you to do either. But I want you to know that family make mistakes and family hurt each other, but that doesn't mean that we'll not be family. You've done a lot for us and for me, and I hope you know that although mistakes have been made and words have been said, that doesn't change what I feel about you.
He shuffles on his feet and then he says, I'm going to try and forgive myself a bit.
You
But for
should.
that, I needed to ask your forgiveness.
You didn't need to ask it.
I have a feeling you're going to be having a very similar conversation with Loran in a couple of months.
Yes.
Are you all right? And he points down to the burns on you, or where they were.
Cass will shrug and be like, no, but I don't have time to be anything but all right.
I hope you have lots of time after this.
If I do, I would like to see you and Valis again. My opinions of Karul are complicated, and that will take more time. But I definitely would like to see you and Valis again.
Mm-hmm. I'd like that too.
Besides, I owe Valis a snake now.
You're always welcome. I know you might not take me up on it because it would also mean potentially seeing someone you aren't so fond of. But if you can get past that briefly, well, I can put them on my.
Wow. Let's see if you can be a good influence on it.
I don't think I've ever been a good influence on anyone.
Yeah, but there's good, bad influences.
Like you on Allsfair.
Exactly.
Who's a bad
You're a good friend. One of the best I've known.
Cass is at that, is like, you can see that in her face, she's like, I'm not so sure.
Well, goodbye. For now, I suppose.
Hopefully not forever. I think hopefully it's a see you soon. She kind of looks, she knows that Gerald and hugs aren't always their thing. So she looks like if he wanted to hug, she would be willing. If he wants to do a awkward,
is in a hugging mood today.
okay,
He will give you a hug.
she'll give him a hug.
And he does say to you before, as you're hugging him, he says, also, I was eavesdropping in your conversation with Serena. And I really hope you can find a way to travel from within Titania's realm.
Me too. It would be nice to see all of your faces.
It'd be nice to see you. And then he will let go of you. And you may all return to the main room. Now, Sorelaras has brought Sobek down in a little wheelchair. He's swaddled in blankets.
Is Sobek even conscious?
A little bit like... He looks like he is vaguely conscious. And Gerald just stands very far away and is like, that's not me. That's not for me to do.
That's not for me.
We might stand in between, so like the line of sight, just noticing. Yeah.
Sorelaras just said, seeing as you're leaving this one in my care, I thought I'd bring them to say goodbye. And he pats Sobek on the head and Sobek goes, ow! And Sorelaras is like, ooh, oops. Don't worry about their safety or their fate. Both of those are in my hands and well cared for. Sobek is like, no. I mean, I imagine all of you are heading to the vague Melas area.
Oh, Melas.
This is true.
Gerald says, oh, and just to remind you all, I know I mentioned this a very long time ago, but it is important. The Tears of Carmentrand, They are best approached by the ocean, by sea. So once you're in Melas, head down to the coast and see if you can go from there. And Loran says, I reckon I can steer us all in the right direction. And Louis, with the lapis in your pocket, you do remember a few things from your conversation. That was a guiding element for you.
Mm.
And Solari's words to you, which you can choose to convey to the others as well. Once you get inside, it's best to pray, or I recommend praying.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter to who. Yeah. Mm.
Mm.
Some water from the bowl.
So,
Ooh, it is scabbing.
Just don't pick it. It will do that.
right, I realise I really need the loo,
Yeah,
and I didn't
that
go
is-
during the break.
that is what I'll do.
So I'm going to leave. I'm going to do this, and then we're going to do something interesting.
I'm trying to fix my Etsy status.
Interesting.
So, is there anything else anybody wishes to do before they leave Cyrillas's mansion?
I take it we're not taking Zarina, so I think Cass would. We don't need to do a scene, but let's just say they do the usual Cass Zarina hug comments.
Yeah. Zarina actually says that she is going to head to the Feywild, to the Aeshurin station again, to try and figure out a way to stabilize the rifts for everywhere, not just.
Dun dun dun.
And as you're kind
It's
of.
my Japanese address.
What's that?
It was my Japanese address.
Cute. As you are all. Are you buying something?
No, I'm trying to change my Etsy notifications.
As you are all kind of sitting there, ready to go, Zarina just says, if you could drop me off first, please. It's a little bit urgent. And Cyrillas agrees, and she turns to her sons. She turns to Loran and says, I know we've had a bit of a weird reunion, but I love you. And good luck.
Baby.
And she pulls him into a hug. And Loran is like, bit odd, but okay. I imagine we're going to something quite perilous, so
Perilous and dangerous.
if we'll need you, we'll call on you. And she smiles and says, well, I might be busy, but I'll do my best. And then she goes to Sarazo and she pulls him into a hug and just says, you two get along, please. And Loran says, no, I don't think I will, no. He doesn't say that. They don't say anything to that, and Sarazo just tells his mum that he loves him, loves her. And Zarina hugs all of you in turn, gives you all kisses on the forehead, if she can reach, and heads on out.
Do you like my new armor, Mom?
You look great, sweetie. Let me take a photo. Moving on from there. Sobek mumbles in all of your directions. And
Bye, Sobek, don't be racist.
Saraza says, I think that basically equates to goodbye, and that should probably be enough. And Krul says, yes, I'll quiet him, and puts a hand over his mouth and nose.
No, Krul, he'll die.
That's a good point. I won't do that. Sobek said, Krul says, you're blue.
I think Louis was still sort of trying to block Gerald, just so that the face isn't glimpsed long enough to recognize him. Louis will kind of just say, "I'm sorry. We said we'd promised you'd never see us again. And then here we are. But
You're welcome, Sobek.
You're welcome, Sobek.
Sobek slowly but painfully lifts a finger and points it towards Loran.
I was like, who's this?
Just like, there's a film called In Secret, which I watched on a plane, and I tried to look for it for ages, and I couldn't find it. And I finally found it the other day, and there's a scene in that where there's an old woman who the two main protagonists or antagonists try and murder, and she points to them like, to prove that it was them. Anyway, so that's what
Oh my
Sobek is
God.
doing.
That's some perspective for you right there. Try and draw that.
Foreshortening.
Wow.
Yeah, okay, too long.
I think Blue would sort of finish with I guess
We're taking hostage.
not that we've exactly been on sort of path of
I'll use my bad.
wearing back duties. We'll broadly finish what we set off to do.
He just kind of he can't really speak. And Serranos is like, I'm sure that he accepts your apologies. It's exciting what's to come from both of you.
Taking the best out of it.
For the lot of you.
Of one.
I just hope there's a world that
You
we
win.
can help make happen where you can relax and not be in competition with the Rand shop.
He says at that. Saying goodbye to Zarina, to Sorella.
I would like to explain while this is happening to Loran how the marriage braces work.
Okay, cool. Very good idea.
Yeah.
Nice. And then also Jral and Corral. And all of you said your individual goodbyes. And they just stand there with Valis tucked away upstairs. Just the two of them now down here.
Wait, before we go, I'm sorry to be annoying.
That's okay, don't worry.
Ulster's gonna tug out a bit of Coral's hair and he's gonna be like, this isn't to bring you back. This is to spy on you if you go missing.
I'm not. Okay.
He puts it in his little cache of hair.
Cass is like, they're like, yes. We will be watching.
We'll be watching.
Or if you're kidnapped.
You're on a watch list.
Undoubtedly.
As you really should
Mindful
be.
monitor.
You really should be on a watch list.
I'm a danger to no one.
You're definitely a danger to
Yourself.
yeah.
Bye. And
Bye.
he crosses his arms.
He's actually gonna miss us.
And Jral says, I'll keep an eye on him. He isn't going to see.
You don't let him near any schools. 2 miles.
More like 3.
How's he going to
I
pick
will
Valis up
miss-
from school?
I will miss you all. I will pick Valis up from school. And I love you.
We love you, Gerard.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you
Love
too.
you.
Every time we say love you, he takes damage.
Psychic damage.
Does he always been like that?
What did he say, Lily?
Has he always been like that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
The reason is because when he was being brought up in the Underdark, he was all of the Shadow Guard were heavily discouraged from
Having
having
emotions.
relationships with anyone, and obviously that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. It just means it happens in secret. And he fell in love with someone who wasn't a Shadow Guard, who's just a regular guard, and they had like it wasn't like a proper relationship, like not like as we would know it. It's like the relationships that flourish in the dark kind of thing. And when it was discovered, the way it works in the Underdark is you have to, if you're in the Shadow Guard, you have to kill the other person. And because he was higher ranking, Jral had to kill the person below him. And in Drow executions, the other party is always given a weapon so that they can fight back and prove that they're worth saving over the executioner. But they refused to fight, so Jral had to kill him. And that was how basically what came to define all of his relationships. And so now he's terrified of falling in love, which he did with the horrible person. But now he loves all of you, and that's just a little bit spooky.
Ulster will make sure before they leave to say "I love you" in Undercommon to Jral.
Ah, yeah, Cass will also do that.
Jral would probably actually say, please don't say that in Undercommon. In Common is fine.
He goes and gives him a cuddle,
That's okay.
and he starts saying in every language he knows.
It's too much, please. I don't want to cuddle, please. So, all of you ready now to go?
But it makes more impact if you say it in the native language that they haven't heard it in before.
Didn't you teach Cass Undercommon?
You did.
Yes, and you
Yeah.
told me Abyssal.
Whistle, yeah.
Thrall is somewhat traumatized by hearing people say I love you in Undercommon.
We squish his face with ours.
Okay. Right, so all of you ready to go?
Yes, let's leave.
Toss a towel, choose on your shoes for the last time, Cass.
Mm.
And Sorella says, I can return them to from whence they came if you like.
I would also like to leave Shu behind.
Shu is like,
It's dangerous. He gives Shu a kiss on the nose. You go back and look after the Ice Palace. I'm sure Sorella has to be happy to drop you off.
oh yes, Sorella will be happy.
Oh,
to drop
has
it.
Serena gone?
Yeah.
Can I retcon that we've asked her if she fixes the rifts and teleportation to send us a message?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Just like
Beep us.
so then all of a sudden Cass can start teleporting again. Or well, maybe not because she's got rifts in her, but
Gotcha.
that would be quite a handy thing to know.
Teleportation, as in like phase stuff, is fine, but like planar stuff is not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're going to the same plane, you're okay.
Right.
If you're leaving planes,
Speaking dimensional.
Can Cass
That's
because she's got
when you,
rifts.
well, I don't know. You have to figure that out.
All right.
Also, before we go, Slia is going to say goodbye to Shu.
Yeah.
Good nuzzle.
You onto Shu and give her a big cuddle. And Sorella says, seeing as this might be the end of our travels via the magical mansion, I just want to say that it has been wondrous having you. And I think it's probably about time that you took these off my hands and presents a ton of contracts.
Yeah. Who do we
Cass.
trust?
Cass sees her contract and is very much like,
I'll take Cass's contract.
And I understand that maybe I've been a bit too cruel to you. And just to keep you on your toes, so you can't predict what I'm going to do next, I ought to be a little soft sometimes.
Are you going to give us more dips?
There are already some in your pack, because I sent them in there last night. No. And he turns to Cass. You think me evil, you think me good, you think me neutral. Which of these is actually true? I'm going to keep you all guessing. And produces Freya's contract.
Cass
Otherwise-
is like shooketh. She's literally like,
I'm not going to tell you if I'll collect payment for this one.
Cass is like, whatever, takes it.
Whatever.
She will be a bit suspicious, but very like shocked, but she will say thank you.
You're welcome. Now, if you see a door, Slayer.
I'll wait for the phrase to be finished, but Slea's
No,
gonna
this
say
is
good.
deal.
Oh, Slea's gonna just kind of go over to Sorella and offer a hug.
Gosh, you're really in the mood. I'm going to hug you. And Sorella
Cass will not be off.
gives you the weird. This is the Voldemort hug, actually.
Yeah, I feel like Pro would just be like, where's the other thing?
Yeah, Slia gives them a very genuine hug, and just says, "Thank you for everything you've done for us."
Oh, it tastes matcha.
If you see a door, think before you open.
Uh-oh.
Or knock. And
Shall we ask a maths question and then you answer it on the other side?
Okay, the time is passing.
Knocking is just polite.
Sorella says, Bluey, if you ask me a maths question, I will endeavour to answer it. And goes over to the door, opens it once more. And beyond Bluey, you see green pastures and rolling hills, and the slight bite in the air that comes from the north of the prayer.
Dun, 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 dun.
I think because Sorella is like holding open the door, she'd say to them in Draconic, "Thank you for everything." Or as it sounds to most other people,
Rar, rar,
Sorella
rar,
says,
rar.
I've done too much bad to be considered good. But at the very least, I can accept your thanks and offer this in return. Cassiel's waiting, and she has the power to do what needs to be done. If you can bring down that cloak, let a few of the dragons through, so that we might start again, I would be much obliged. And if you don't, well, I'll be there anyway, and I'll see what I can do. I'm always watching.
Emma, law check.
Law check.
It's like Cassiel, Sorelleras, and there were 3 other dragons. That
So there are 3 dragons. Cassiel, Sorelleras, and
Me!
well, yes, but 3 true dragons.
I'm a true dragon!
You can turn into a dragon, but you weren't born a dragon.
I'm a true dragon!
That's your opinion. Okay. And can anyone give me the third one?
Lorelei? No?
Ah! Well, okay. Potentially living dragons.
Okay, right.
Oh, Zoltan Bureau.
Yeah. Zoltan, in the Shadowfell, potentially.
Zoltan, right.
Yeah. Lorelei doesn't really count, but actually it's a really good lore recall, because they don't have a physical form. They're only the spirit of.
Okay.
But just to point out, Elijah has that orb of dragonkind with that spirit in it. An orb of dragonkind, of course, can call dragons, etc., and so on and so on. So if you want to fulfill what Sorelleras wishes, you could probably wiggle that off him and use it for fun. Anyway, that's all I'm saying. But anyway.
Thank you.
Right. All of you head out of the door into the north of a prayer, right close to where this story first began.
Oh my god.
In the distance, you can see the rolling hills that lead to the Temple of Bahamut, and beyond that to the Fang. To your left, you see the long, flat plains which head towards Whitecliff Castle. And
over to your right, coming across
and ahead of you, you see and smell the salt of the ocean, and we have to go look at our cats because they're really, really cute, not really.
Okay. Oh, hell yeah. You soon won't be able to hear you, so you... Oh, hell... Wait, hang on. Oh, hello! Oh my gosh. They're just so different. But they're both equally cute. Like you can actually see Les, you can see his limbs. Baz is just...
They love each other so much. Anyway, guys, come back. There's a bit of information you need. Also, did you hear what I said about the dragon orb?
Elijah has it.
Yes, and you can use it to do summon dragons.
Oh no.
That's too bad because I'm also...
He wants to get his big bitch Tiamat.
Because Elijah's weak.
Well, Elijah might use it to summon Tiamat, but you guys could use it to summon something else.
But can't it just summon Relora Life? Because it's a dragon in it.
Y'all trick y'all butt. It's the... okay, don't worry, we'll get to that.
When we snatch the orb...
Someone cast magic on it and I'll tell you everything.
Bring it up to our faces and go, I know we haven't always seen eye to eye.
Literally, it was blind.
Yeah.
So much eye drama going on in this. Eye trauma going on in this show.
Yeah.
Right. Guys, I'm sure.
Sorry, we're distracting you.
Into Northern Prayer. This was really emotional. Where this story first. Rattling dice. I'm trying to set the scene.
Okay.
Where this story first began. And as you set foot on this soil with Melas ahead of you, in a shocking turn of events, all of you are going to level up.
Yes!
Oh my god.
The next level.
Do we get time to do that?
And we are going to give you all time to do that. It is roughly
Yay.
midday anyway. So if you want to make some
you're
lunch,
cooking.
and we can come back and then we can talk about what you guys have done.
So 20 minutes.
Yeah.
20 minutes, guys.
Okay,
20
sounds
minutes. You
minutes.
can stay on the screen whilst you do it, or you can put your computers away, whatever you prefer. I'm going to quickly go and get some food.
Oh my god.
And I will pause the recording.
Amazing.
Yay.
You guys are now 18.
Hit it.
He's
Hit the button and rumble, grumble. Okay. So,
He just likes being involved.
who does? You are standing at a cross section between paths. One leading you towards the Temple of Carmentrand, which was where you met the gnome, where the teleportation circle for this area is. The other leading towards Whitecliff Castle.
The beheaded gnome.
And the other leading onwards to Melas.
Pass her a moment.
From here, you can see. Everyone make an investigation check.
Yay!
Or perception check.
Perception.
No, give that to investigation.
22.
23.
That's pretty good perception.
No, I have pretty good perception. I have a +8.
I'm plus 11.
Natural Lavoon. You're so set on
Yeah,
Melas.
look
You
at my
can't see anything else.
investigation.
9.
9. Okay, some of you have tunnel vision. Some of you do not. I am rocking back and
You have 2 20s. Damn.
It's because of a magical item.
we
Gonna steal it.
It's a lie. It's an illusion.
Damn, son, where'd you find that?
So, as you observe your surroundings, Ulster and Cass, the two of you notice you can actually see the outline of Whitecliff Castle stark on the horizon.
Castle struck.
Now, from here, you can see that the settlements around it have begun to spread out and fan into their own, a township in its own right. As the spring and summer has come to Praia, you notice that the crops, the fields, the farmsteads are flourishing. There's far more movement on that horizon than you've ever seen before, and they have recovered quite well from the siege and are beginning to set up their own township because of that. You can't see any of Melas above that cliff face. It's deceptive. From the plains, you don't see the city at all. You just see the coast appear. It's only once you start moving towards it in that crescent blue that you know the direction to from here that the city begins to tear down. Lily?
Can I, as we're going, pop a cheeky scry on Elijah?
You may, yes.
So he has to make a save, but he has a minus. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, let me have a quick look at my spells I have. Ritual wise.
Oh.
Can
can
I-
roll my...
Foresight?
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna also take the time to do the telepathic bond between all of us.
Yeah.
And I'm also want to do detect poison.
Okay.
Also, do we need to go there quicker? I can cast Phantom Steed.
We have yeah, if you want to. We also have a carpet, but
If we all fit on the carpet, then I don't need to.
natural 1. Oh.
That's good.
If you're going to do a low one, like you
Yeah.
want it to be the lowest so that you can put it on someone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Emma,
Look at his face.
Yes.
I believe it'll be a -9 to his save.
Well, he got a 6 on the dice, so I don't think you
Negative.
stop. So, as you pop your scry, your vision starts to filter through the planes, and you're pulled away from the material plane.
Scrying only works on the same plane, so he's in a different plane.
Wait a sec. Away from the material plane, and your vision kind of sits in one of those obscure, in-between places. And your eyes, for anyone who starts to look at you, begin to lose their saturation slightly. And the same silvery sheen on Cass's cheeks, where her rifts are, begin to sort of swallow Ulster's eyes until they're just pure silver. The only hint of colour on his face just completely fading away. And Ulster, I need you to roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Fuck.
We're in trouble.
26.
26. You're
Someone's
okay.
come along, they burst our bubble.
But what you're seeing is, as you try and surprise specifically on Elijah, it's like your vision is scrolling. You know how like old film like goes fast, like, and you can kind of see the flickering of the panels.
Yeah.
It's like that's kind of what you're seeing, all these scenes, and it's quite dizzying. You know he's not on this plane.
He is on this plane.
He's not on this plane.
He's not on this plane.
No.
Okay. Ulster flicks back.
And it's quite disorientating, and you feel quite nauseous.
He falls over in the snow.
Loran is like, "Oh my!" Careful.
He looks up at everyone. He's not on this plane.
You okay?
Is that a good sign? Loran says.
Yeah.
Well,
Can I have some help getting up, please?
Loran is holding you kind of like half crouched.
Okay.
You're not quite flat on the ground.
Cass opens one eye at this, but she's been casting. First, she's going to cast...
The telepathic bond?
No, that will be the second thing because then it will last longer.
Sure.
First, she wants to cast detect poison and disease, specifically in the area. Because obviously with the whole illness thing, she basically wants to see if she can sense sickness,
Yes.
disease.
You can. As you sense sort of the area around you, you feel beneath the ground, kind of in the veins of rock. I think you'd feel it this way, especially because you're a dwarf. In the veins of rock that kind of lie, and like the through lines that lie underneath the prayer, you feel a creeping kind of sickness getting further and further north. And actually, the people of Whitecliff Castle in that direction, you feel more of a pull of sickness there than you do towards Melas. Obviously, Melas is the furthest north. You guys can go in this region, so
Okay.
that would make sense.
Cass will be like, yeah, it's sickness is everywhere. Assume that everyone we meet is infected. And then she will cast the telepathic bond, because I think that lasts an hour or 8 hours. Let me have a look.
I think it'd be an hour.
Yeah, it's an hour.
It's good stuff.
Okay.
So, if you like, you have a little bit of a journey from here to Melas. You can cast it all the way.
I'll cast it basically when it looks like we're going to be there.
Yeah.
Because it takes 10 minutes to cast and then it will last an hour. So to maximise its...
Mhm.
I think Ulster starts walking in the wrong direction, falls over, gets back up, and starts walking in the right direction.
Loran is like, "Is this okay? Are you normal? Is this normal?"
Dizzy.
It's not. We'll keep you in the right direction. Now, everybody, I'm not sure if you remember, but I have a magical carpet. Can take you a whole manner of places.
Oh yeah, we have two actually.
What? Why?
Because when we got married, you gave me another one.
You think they give you something a bit more versatile? But anyway,
But it's been very useful because there's more than 6 of us.
there you are. So you guys can set up on the different carpets. Who wants to be with who? So Loran will be with Ulster, I assume. Sarah's will probably be on the separate carpet. So who wants to go on Loran's carpet? Who wants to go on Sarah's carpet?
Is there 6 of us?
Sarah's, Loran, Cass, Ulster, Sleer, Bluey.
We can all fit on one carpet.
Oh my god! It's
God.
I can't remember the last time we could all fit in one.
I know, there's only 2 NPCs here. Crazy.
They're the ones that
Oh, where will all the voices in your head go?
Now they're plotting against us, see?
I'm very sad. Anyway, you all pile onto the carpet and begin to move away. And you look behind, and the doorway, which was Soreloras's kind of like entryway, has slowly begun to fade, and then eventually is once again to nothing. Bluey, you recognize this whole area. You know this like the back of your hand. You've played in these fields as a child. You fought for Marlena and the Winter Brands at Whitecliff Castle. And you have helped refugees settle here for months, years, ever since the beginning of this whole story. And as you pull towards Melas, you see a sight which is very much familiar to you.
Lots of dead people.
The clouds parting.
Ayla's face.
The clouds parting as you reach the coastline,
So many.
presenting idyllic weather perfectly to the time of year, as it always has been. Though, off in the distance, you do see a hint of showers. Now, you have a choice here at these roads. You can head on to Melas, or you can divert to Whitecliff Castle as well. Which would you like to do? You could also go down to that teleportation circle where the gnome was, if you wish to. Sarah's kind of pulls this out as he's steering.
Whitecliff first, or
Loran leaves it to you guys to decide.
Might be a good idea to get an assessment of the area.
Okay. Sarah starts pulling you guys to the left, to the west, towards Whitecliff Castle. Now, as you approach, you do seem to stick out amongst the people here. You're thankful that you are not greeted by a scene similar to that of Eldrelith's Watch. The people here seem to be autonomous. They seem to be alive, first and foremost, and, for lack of a better word, living a mundane existence as they may have been before. But they look and they turn at you, and a few of the smaller children wave, and amongst their number, you see familiar faces. You see the family of elves who you saved before. Their children slightly more grown, and they run across the fields. You see people who you sheltered here, safe for now. And then you notice Sarah's will begin to stiffen as he gets closer and closer to the gates of the castle. And he looks up at something that you guys can't quite put a finger on.
Yeah.
And he just says, "It wasn't a pretty sight." And you can recall that this is where he found Merlin, and the gnome.
I will rub Sarah's back. Pat, pat.
He looks over at Cass and says, "I don't know if you remember, you weren't with us at the time, but Sai, he hurt these people. Good people."
I wasn't here, but I know what he did.
We've repaid that somewhat. Perhaps we should tell them.
Yeah.
And here you dismount from the carpet. You've gathered quite a crowd. And by that I mean there are about 5 farmers standing behind you with like seagulls on their heads like buttons.
Hi.
And they kind of like look at you curiously, and you've never really taken much thought as to how far you've come from when you yourselves looked barely any different from this. Here, on a magic carpet in your finery adorned in magical items, powerful and emanating that power, you look like gods to these people. And one of them almost starts bowing to you.
oh, hi,
From behind, as you sort of start calling out, you hear the gates of the castle beginning to open, but you can keep talking.
It looks like you've made this a nice place.
And they just stunned looking at you. And from behind, before the rest of you turn around to see who it is, you just hear a chipper voice kind of say, Bluey? And Bluey, you turn around and you see Finnegan.
Yeah, okay, running.
You launch
My
yourself
God!
across at him.
Ah!
And he is still a blue tiefling, thanks to Ulster.
All these people have new lives
New
thanks to
lives.
Ulster, but they also died thanks to Ulster.
Oops.
Oopsie.
It was fine.
Ulster's explaining that to Loran as they go. He's like, yes, and then you see I set off this blast, and then like 15 people died, and then I had to bring them back, and then I got into debt with
Usually
surveillance.
if you throw fire at cannons, they explode.
Yes, but we don't use cannons in the Messiah. We're not allowed to use them.
So did you throw the fire or the cannon?
The fire.
Oh, yeah. I would have done the same.
I saved everyone.
As you're saying that, Bluey, you hold Finnegan very closely, and he pulls back and he says, it's been... I don't even know how long, honestly.
No, I'm so sorry.
So much has changed. I have a title now. I'm on the council.
Oh, hang on. The council.
It's a, well, come in, and
Okay, right.
let me settle you all in. Are you staying here, or are you going anywhere else?
We're not staying for long.
Then long enough for a cup of tea, at least. There are a few people here who probably want to see you.
People we need to see.
We're on a quest to save the world.
Finnegan nods as if that kind of went right over his head and looks at the lot of you and says,
The planar system is in danger.
okay, well,
You will all die horribly if we don't go.
I understand. That sounds really bad. There are, well, if I remember rightly, what Marlena and Frederick told me, they left me and Merlin in charge of looking after the home.
Merlin did a really good rendition of the song Loran de Hain, I remember.
Oh, that's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
Anyway. Wait, and he points at Loran. Are you the man himself? And Loran says, well, I might briefly, I don't know. But moving swiftly on from that, Finnegan starts bringing you into the castle. The gates kind of stay open. It doesn't look like they keep people out necessarily. And considering there were farmers there, they didn't want to shut them away or turn them away. But the farmers don't breach the edge of the castle. They kind of just watch you like, oh.
And Blue will wave to them, like...
They wave back after a moment, but they're still very confused and in awe.
I steal their birds. They all flock to me as we pass.
You're a god of birds to them now. Now,
He's like an eldritch Snow White.
all of you enter the castle, and you're taken to. I'm going to sneeze.
Achoo!
Bless
you.
you.
Bless you. Kiku.
I might sneeze again, but I'm probably okay now. You were taken to the same room where you sat here with Sobek, with Lorella, with Marlena, with Frederick, with all of those important people ages ago.
I had a fight with Lorella in here.
You did.
Because she was being a bitch.
She was.
Yeah.
You had a fight with Neff on the parapets.
Yeah, because Death left us all to die.
It's a fight, you had a fight with Sarah in the broom closet.
Wasn't it at the Whitecliff Castle that I had a fight with a fucking doll?
Wait. I think you're thinking of in Calcariat, where you were trying to get to that door, and you accidentally set off a trap to burn all the evidence. Like an hour. Anyway.
An hour I was at that fucking door.
Right, so.
This is when Slayer flirted with Loran and Ulster got upset.
Loran
remembers that.
Flirt with Loran.
Slayer did flirt with Loran.
Not intentionally.
Unintentionally flirted with Loran.
Alex can't help their charisma.
They pass the spot and also just looks at Slayer like,
Slayer looks like she is not even thinking about it.
Control your inner charisma, Slayer.
As you guys move in and you sit down,
it's like less
settles you in this, for lack of a better word, war room. But it's more of like a little sitting chamber. Kev would be quite proud of it. It's fairly sensible, with some soft chairs and a wooden table, a large wooden table which kind of occupies a map of a prayer. And Finnegan kind of stands there and he kind of like pulls over one of like the people attending the castle and whispers something in their ear and says, "My men will come and greet you all as well. I was just the one who was nearest the door at the time, so I thought I'd let you in. So you're back for good?" Looking at Bluey.
We need to take one last detour. It's a pretty big detour.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't think it'd be a long detour, but it's a big one.
It could be eternal.
Yeah.
For everyone if we fail. Boom.
Um,
You guys are.
Everything will look like this.
Yeah, I look. I'm not one to be rude, but you do look really scary.
it's
Good.
Step pulls an olive out of one of the little holes. He's like,
Finnegan is concerned and confused.
Rift magic. It's one of Elijah's specialties.
Who is Elijah?
he's trying to destroy us all.
The small boy with the American accent. Sorry, there's no America in this world.
The boy with the weird accent.
The weird accent, yeah.
Sorry, with the same accent as Sleia.
But much more pronounced. You have my permission. I think you have everyone here's permission to kill that small boy because actually, that is the small boy's dad possessing him. And
He's not a small boy. He's like 18. I'm like a year older than him.
Yeah, but he looks
okay,
like.
He's taller than I am.
from
I
my
don't know which entity that's supposed to be.
from my perspective on the world, he is a small boy.
Okay.
You're like 21, Bluey. Don't age shame people.
He is small.
Where are your two children, Bluey?
Ran like, also, where is all this sass coming from?
I don't know. I'm just feeling very. The world is ending, and I need to exercise some feelings.
I understand. Ulster has a sob in the corner. Finnegan says, "I'm a little bit confused. Does this have something to do with the really sad, powerful lady downstairs?"
We should probably bring her along.
Oh, that okay. So
She's
the
been
body,
like wallowing here for quite some time.
Anna.
I'll go find her.
So the body being possessed is her son, and the person possessing it is her former partner, deceased partner.
That's a bit
Yes.
sad.
I've gone to
He's
find
big-
Anna soon.
He's big on
Wait,
teleportation.
Ulster, wait to excuse yourself.
No, I've just left.
Okay, like Loran just says, "I'm gonna go." Bye. Finnegan nods and then just says, "I have a feeling I'm not the person to talk to you about this. This might be the better choice." And Merlin enters the room, and Merlin says, "Bluey, everyone, you're here. Good to see you all." Well, good is a word. I'll skip the how are yous because some of you look really disgusting. With the cast. Anyway, I'll go straight to the welcome to Melas, kind of. We are operating our own township here, and we have been since the whole siege, building what we hope to be an extension of Melas for those who want to move away from the horrible things associated with the city itself and try and free themselves somewhat from the.
Merlin said you look disgusting.
Well,
Well,
I think I look hot, but you know. Well, maybe that's just
Disgustingly hot.
We've been building our township here to try and give people another option, essentially. Are you here to check in on that? Or is there something else we should know? I know Marlena went recently to observe the king's trials with my father.
I am king.
You're a king. Congratulations.
He's not here.
Bye, Ulster.
He's Max Merlin on the way out. I'm going to find Anna.
It went well. Ulster is co-king.
Good for him. He seemed like a bit of an odd one, but a good one.
I think when they get the chance to work together, when we're done with this,
It'll be good.
it'll be good. Yes, well, I think again the phrase comes to my head. Love what you've done with the place. The
That's fine.
I
Merlin
mean,
says,
we've come. Oh, sorry.
no, it's okay. Go on. If you come, yeah.
We've come here for many reasons, and unfortunately, all of them need to be kind of addressed quickly. So
Louis, it sounds like you've got a lot going on, Merlin says. What do you need from us? Why did you come here? Because we can tell you all about the castle, but if there's specific information you want, a state of affairs update, anything like that, ask and we can give it to you.
have you been able to observe what the town
What's happening?
what they think of Tiamat now, like recently?
It's difficult because they were quite susceptible to being taken over by a different god, you see. Carmentrand has had such a hold over them that, well, they've lost the ability to think for themselves. When the Church of Tiamat came in, they came in with smiles and assistance under the guise of helping to rebuild post-siege. Most of the followers of Carmentrand were killed, for better or for worse, by our efforts, or dissolved or pushed away. And I know that it's better this way. I don't know why, but I can feel it. But at the same time, I can't help but feel a sense of guilt over the fact that I played a part in them falling then to Tiamat. And trust me, they know what they're doing. The people occupying that place now. In recent times, I've heard there have been stirrings of, well, not unrest. They don't really have that capacity at the moment, but questions. And, well, let's just say the weather's not been as good as it used to be. I didn't grow
Seeing
up in
things in
Melas.
dreams.
Sorry?
Seeing things in dreams, as an example.
Yes, actually. How did you know?
This place has a connection to the Shadowfell. If you've heard of that.
I haven't. I have some magic, but nothing to write home about. My education ended early for personal reasons. I was not very good at class. But well, I can tell you this. Ever since the lot of you left, I wonder if maybe I should wait until the others come back so that they can all get the information. I can hear you. Okay, but we'll just feed it back to George. Ever since the lot of you left, and the siege wrapped up, we thought to ourselves it would be a good idea to build a new way of running society. We drew together plans to put a council in place, someone who might rule over the region, not just that one city. That would include the small hamlets surrounding the farmlands of this area, Whitecliff and Melas. We thought that bringing all of these places under one rule, group rule, would be beneficial for everyone and stop something like this happening again. The people of Melas turned on the people of Whitecliff. And that kind of action in such close quarters is unsettling. So we went from there. The council consists of Marlena and my father, of course, considering he has been providing so much for the people around here. Prominent leaders from the various communities, far and close. Raphael Peacefeather, whose
Ray's having the break from having sex.
whose father was one of the leaders of the siege. It was initially to be a show that we don't hate the Carmentrant religion, we just hate what those people did and how they act. But the religion is all but dissolved, and his position is somewhat honorary now. One of the people who we've relied on the most is a woman named Lynn. Lynn. She runs an inn in the city of Melas. You might have met her.
Lynn in the inn.
Lynn the inn, yeah. Lynn the innkeeper. The Hippocampus Tavern. She has been one of the few who has been quite open and helpful. Not affiliated with the Church of Tiamat. She seems to be an outlier and has her own mind. And she's been working closely with Marlena to put together a group who would be willing to head to the tiers and get to the root of what's happened there. However, before we could enter and actually make that excursion become a reality, the Church of Tiamat came in. And when they came in, well, they raised the point that if Raphael Peacefeather is on the council, then the Tiamat Church also needs to be on the council. And then slowly but surely they radicalized other members. And now the council is constantly in dispute. Because half of us think that, well, what's best for everyone is getting to the bottom of this so this doesn't happen again. Whereas the Church of Tiamat only seem to want to stop us getting anything done. The people of Melas and the surrounding area don't necessarily harbour any ill will towards them. They've done a lot, bringing in supplies, love-bombing us, essentially, if you ask me. But if you tell a farmer that the hand that feeds them is a monstrous one, they're not really going to bat an eye if it means their children get hurt. And if you look at us, we're small and we're growing still. We don't necessarily have the resources that they do. We can't show them that there's something more sinister beneath. That is the state of affairs. As far as I'm aware, though don't let this exit the room, Lynn is still planning to go when Marlena returns, unless someone else kind of looks a lot of you and focuses on Bluey, focuses on you. And if someone else were to reinvigorate the quest.
I think I get a feeling that in order to wake people up, show them what's happened, and to rectify a bit of this, I feel like the town will need to see the tears.
The tears?
But tears.
Do you mean?
Same word.
Different pronunciation. But why would you call the tears?
Elijah's big into rift magic.
And
big
at
into
that,
many things.
Merlin looks at Cass and then looks back. Sorry for calling you disgusting. You must have been through a lot.
Gus just sort of shrugs and she's like,
I find it hard to hold my tongue sometimes. I've got a bit of word vomit.
so
My
Only
dad
I
says it's
would
because I have
hold it.
ADHD.
ADHD exists in this world.
Of course.
as a specified thing.
Why
Good
not?
to know.
There are neurodivergent people in fantasy land.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Bluey says under her breath, my tribe. And then,
They like link arms.
So that Shadowfell place, I think it's connecting a bunch of us because it is a site where a lot of hurt concentrates, and it's also literally the site where people disappear to.
Loran, to assist you, kind of says,
Loran went with Ulster.
Loran is not here, never mind. Saraza, someone assist you, says, from what Loran has told me, the Shadowfell feeds on ill intent and bad feelings. And if bad things have happened at the Tiers for years in such a systemic way, I wouldn't be surprised if it's similar to what exists in Kalkan. A crossing that's just open to the Shadowfell.
Okay, so even saying that it's important that the city sees the Tiers, I think that needs to wait at least a few days.
Nonsense says, I completely understand. The city is not under imminent collapse, thank goodness. There is nothing that is so pressing that it would kill us within a few days. Unless there is. And he kind of just looks at everyone like, I don't know, maybe a couple of things.
Loran like, no, nothing that I'm aware of.
Loran goes, la 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 la
La,
la,
la.
next to Ulster. You can choose whether or not to respond to that. But Merlin kind of takes your silence as an answer, if not.
Because of the help that the Church of Tiamat has given to the city, and how the city seems to have mostly responded back to varying degrees, positively to that, there may not be an imminent threat to the town, but really,
Merlin starts fidgeting.
Nice.
Okay, Louis, everyone, I'm going to choose to completely believe you wholeheartedly. Also stands to say,
As does Cass, who can now polymorph too.
Dungeons and Dragons, except you're all snakes.
You can polymorph yourself into a T-Rex.
Louis.
Just say it.
Emily? Snake? No.
Nice.
That's all. Okay, now that it's out of our
So I'm making a really good snake impression last night.
Merlin says, I choose to believe you completely and wholeheartedly, and I trust you.
What did Merlin say? What were we trusting? What was he trusting?
That there is nothing that's going to imminently destroy the city, or anyone here.
Loran's right here.
long
Now-
term.
Just don't hit Ulster with anything, and it'll be fine.
So, Merlin says, I have more details I can give you should you need them, but that is the basic state of affairs. Finnegan and I have been working on a plan to try and boost crop growth in the immediate area. I know that Ulster has some.
Yes, we can go do some.
Do you also have some magic that would assist us with this?
Yes. Do we save the world, not grow potatoes? There's no point in growing potatoes if the world's not going to be here.
Yeah, but in the immediate vicinity, aren't we we're trying to convince people that
Yes,
that we can help them, and that Tiamat's is the
Honestly,
only thing.
anything you can do that would help us secure their favor currently and remove Tiamat's influence from their lives would be helpful.
Yeah, I
We
have
are-
plant growth somewhere.
We are
Yeah.
a stance of we don't believe in any one god, and I don't really think that the gods would expect us to mindlessly follow them.
Mhm.
So, with that in mind, any help you can assist on that front would be wonderful.
I can do some good plant growth.
Thank you. If you want any more information from me or from Finnegan, we will be in this. We sort of run this small area, along with some of the farmer families, all of whom would recognise you from the siege. If I'm completely honest, your being here, your presence, also just helps us all. So if you don't have time for anything, even showing your faces is enough. When you do plan to head down to Melas, let me know, and I can let my contacts know that you're coming. Do you have any contacts there yourselves that you want me to send messages to? I can do so whilst you're busy.
I'm not here.
Mr. X.
Sure, we'll get to you. Mr.
China.
X, I will
Anarchy.
do my best.
Monstrous found.
Emma, how long do we have here?
As long as you guys wish. This conversation is taking about half an hour, I think.
Because if we have, this might be too long. If we have 8 hours, I can do a lot of good stuff with plant growth. But if we don't want that long, then I can.
I think that's completely up to you. And you can discuss that probably with Ulster, who'll probably be able to help as well.
Yeah.
But as we finish on the scene with Bluey and Merlin discussing Ulster, Loran, does anybody else want to come down and see Anna Rasheen as well? So that I can...
Yeah, I think Cass, because her and Cass went through some stuff with the deck of many things. I feel like
so you guys will come
Celia
in at
will
the
go.
end of this as well.
You guys will join them in like 10 minutes.
Ulster, you and Loran head further down, and Loran kind of turns to you and says, I vaguely remember some of this.
What do you remember?
Sieges, death, blah blah blah.
You weren't there for that, but we told you about it.
No, I mean more in the situation of I remember this as an impression of it.
Yeah.
So what happened here?
Basically, there was like a civil war, and we helped in the side on Whitecliff, and lots of people died. But in the end, we kind of won, and now there was peace for a moment. But then there was an issue with the religious sect in town, and Carmen-Tran's been overthrown, and now Tiamat's been reinstated.
I hate evangelists.
Yeah, it's a bit gross. Anyway, we're going to find Anna Ashun, who is the mother of Ender. You might have met her.
I did remember.
You didn't meet.
Yeah.
You didn't meet her because she didn't come to the party.
No, but I've lived a life before with lots of magic in it and renown.
You met Anna Ashun?
Probably.
What does she look like?
Ender?
Can I insight check Lauren?
Sure.
26.
He is making a good stab at it. It's
Got you.
You get the impression that even if he did remember her, he doesn't remember her very well.
Also pats Lauren's chest. Basically, Ender was killed.
And she didn't even come to her own son's birthday party.
No, she did. She was there.
But I went to that party.
No, your memories end just before that party.
Okay, I'm getting muddled, but I understand.
Mm-hmm.
She's Ender's mother.
Yeah, she's Ender's mother. Ender was killed by some people who we were fighting at the time.
Rude, that sounds familiar.
That's not relevant because they technically died. And then Elijah possessed Ender's body and basically started trying to destroy the planar system as we know it.
Yucky. Let's go give her some sweets.
Or we could just talk to her.
Or we could give her some presents to make her feel better.
We don't have any presents.
I'm bold. I'm a present.
You cannot give yourself to Anna Ashunran.
I can give my time.
Just think about how you phrase that, and he starts walking.
Right. So I give her my attention. As you head on down, you go to the where is it? You go to this lower chapel where Marlena used to pray. It has been transformed still into this makeshift infirmary. And if you look here, you see once where Anna Ashun had been sitting on her perch, looking quite out of place with her son's body in front of her, you now see that she has made this her home, almost. Personal affects, a more permanent-looking bed, a comfier chair. And his body is still there, wrapped in blankets, looking cold, but she is lighting a fire to keep it warm.
Hi, Anna.
And she is just sort of turns around, and you can always hear her neck kind of like cracking as she turns. And she gives you this dead-eyed stare.
We're on our way to stop your dead ex-husband from destroying the planar system and hopefully return Under's soul to his body. Would you like to come?
Oh, she's really infected.
And she just looks back at you and then looks down at him and goes over to the fire.
Can I medicine check her?
You can, yeah.
Load faster.
It's not a check you use often, is it?
No, it's not one of the ones I know off by heart. It's A
+5.
17.
Anna looked bad before,
Mm.
but she was conscious, and you've never known her to be the type of person who completely loses herself. She always has a sort of clasp on reality. This looks a lot more like the people you knew you saw in Oslo.
So we're going to wait for Slia to come and help you, and then we'll chat.
She looks up at you and looks back down, moves to the fire,
You're right.
smokes it. And Loran is a bit perplexed and just says, I'll go get her, actually.
I'll stay here.
Heads back for Slia and Cass and Bluey. And you guys are wrapping up your conversation when the door opens and Loran says, Anna Ashun is infected.
Oh, my nose.
Okay.
Mm.
And Merlin frowns and says, infected.
Fuck.
I'll come down and explain as we go. And if you want to, you can just say TLDR, you explain.
There we go.
You all head downstairs back to the chapel area. And also, Anna Ashun has not changed since Loran left, barely registered his leaving. And when Merlin approaches, he says, she wasn't this bad yesterday.
I want to Arcana check the entire room, including Anna and Enda.
Okay. So,
Can I assist?
Yeah, sure, of course.
Can I have advantage?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Much better.
Much better.
Oh, am I there as well?
You are, yeah, everyone's there now.
Yeah, I will also
Loran
Arcana check.
That will be a. Hold on. Wait a moment. 26.
That is a. It's my Arcana +7. It's 14.
14, okay.
Yeah, not good with
That's
a
okay.
+11.
Cass, you're getting the vibe that things are a bit necrotic in here. Also, this is very clearly coming from Anna Ashun herself. She lived with Elijah for years. Whatever he has done to Eldralith, however it was done, Anna is spreading it here, whether she knows or not.
We need to cure Anna now, as best we can. And probably isolate this wing.
Merlin looks confused, but says, if you can do it, please do so.
Yeah.
Do you want me to affect everyone in in Whitestone.
Whitecliff.
Whitecliff.
No, not in Whitestone.
No, I almost said Whitestone, and then I went, no, it's Whitecliff. No, I'm wrong.
You're good.
I can heal everyone in the castle if we need to.
Loran says, if you're going to do that, then we should gather as many people as we can see
Exactly.
right into the castle. Bluey?
Shall I try and detect who's got it, how strong it is?
Yeah.
And
Okay.
try to
Bluey?
bring people outside?
If you like, I can take you on the magic carpet and we can fly all around with your detect thing for the next 10 minutes and get as many.
That'd be great.
Okay, anybody want to
Can I examine the general area with my druidy skills to see if the infections spread into the castle itself?
Good idea.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think
so-
Cass might assist with that.
I was going to
So
say
it's
Sleia
3
also
teams.
could assist with nature.
2 teams. We have the nature floor people and the sky people.
Nature floor people.
Bluey, Loran quickly loads you up onto the carpet and looks between them and just says, neither of us. Well, you're quite welcoming as a presence. You direct them to the castle.
Actually, if that's the case, because Cass has got quite good charisma and persuasion, so maybe she'll go with the
Become a sky person.
become a sky person
I'm fully capable
And-
of myself.
and lure some people in for heal magic.
Sure. Okay, with the team of Bluey, Loran, and Cass, you all load up onto the carpet.
And I'm a one-person team.
Slea's with you.
I'm here.
I am a Sleer and Ulster team.
You are. And you load up onto the carpet. Now, everybody make, you 3 make me please perception checks or investigation.
The Sky team or?
Sky team.
Doesn't really matter which one I go for. Perception or investigation, does it matter?
Gives you slightly different information.
What are you going for, Bluey? Are you going for perception or investigation?
I think I'll go perception.
Okay, I'll go investigation then. 26.
26 and Blue?
Right. That's 22.
22, very nice.
Nice.
As you head up on the carpet, Loran's sort of steering you around. Looking all around, you can see within just your general periphery, there are roughly 15 to 20 people at the castle at the moment. Some of them have been gathered there since you guys arrived. Others have come in to sort of like now that word's been spreading. And Bluey, are you casting your spell?
Yeah, I start that. Yeah.
You can feel that these people have a very low level dose of whatever infection that's spread inside of them. And Cass, with your investigation, you can kind of almost see the slight look of sickness on them. Ever so slight. You could have passed it off as them being peasants and a little bit poor.
Peasants.
Sickly. But now that you look at it, you recognise them as ill. And Bluey, Cass, I want you to say something to them, to rally them. Just one sentence, one line, whatever you want to say.
Bluey, is there something you want to say first?
I think if we can get to ground level, so she's not shouting this from above.
Yeah.
Hey, how have you guys been feeling health-wise, especially the past few days?
Do you feel any
As you
temperature
kind
or
of circle above like a hawk, one of the farmers looks a bit perplexed. And then replies, I've never been to a doctor.
Like how, is your energy lower or?
I've been feeling heart palpitations and a weird wart has appeared on my bum.
That sounds like syphilis.
Another one says, I've got gangrene in my left toe. Another one says, I'm perfectly healthy, other than the fact that I have no teeth. And they won't stop regrowing and falling out.
Oh, God.
Sounds like syphilis.
Cass.
Oh, wait, does Bluey want to finish what she was going to say?
Blue, yeah.
I've But I could tell them to just wait right here. But like
You'd want them to probably enter the castle gates.
do you have a bit of time to come inside?
You're gonna be snappy. You're gonna be snappy. You're flying. You're soaring.
Are you able to come inside real quick? I can explain later.
Okay. And Cass?
Come to, I'm assuming there's a hall.
Yeah.
Come to the Great Hall for a free drink.
Nice.
And
that crab.
And just a sort of general health check to make sure everything's okay.
Okay, everybody make me persuasion checks with advantage. Got that.
Both of us.
Good, because that was fucking terrible. Oh, but that was very good. I think that's a 37.
Fucking hell. And then
They are mindless little rats following behind.
Follow for the alcohol, yes, my pretties.
I was thinking pretty good, you know. That's a whole point.
That's pretty good. 17. Okay. They look at you, Blue. Then they look at Cass and like, yeah, 3 drinks. Yeah. And get that water removed. Yeah. And then they start heading in. And you guys can start doing a whole assessment of the area, and you gather 10 more, 20 more people. And as you pass,
bring your friends.
Yeah, as you
Bring
pass
your
over the homesteads, all the pets, all the children start heading over in this like weird procession of
some others.
I guess if anyone
kids wearing little bonnets just kind of like marches out like one off the other like little ducklings, and they all head towards the castle for the health check.
I think if anyone looked like they were struggling to walk or couldn't walk or whatever case, then we could fit 2 or 3 more people on the carpet. So
I mean, I could get off.
I could get off.
Yeah, and we can let them.
This is the first time Loran's done something without Ulster in like a year.
I know. Loran loads the carpet up with the sickly and elderly and says, "Trust me with your lives," and then starts heading towards the castle.
Loran, who's like glowing, a picture of health.
Hello.
Everyone's like, really? She's going to give us the health check?
Look at Loran. Cass is behind Loran with her little arms through his like folded.
Ulster, are you doing your commune with the ground? And Sleer, how are you assisting?
Yeah, I'll do a commune.
Come on.
I could just do like an nature check.
Yeah. Right, Ulster, how are you manifesting this? With a spell or with a...
I'm going to do my ritual commune with nature, whatever it's called.
Gotcha.
28.
With
28,
nature.
lovely.
Also, I need to have a quick restroom break, but I'm still listening.
That's A-okay.
You go do what you need to do.
We're only going to do a little bit more after this.
Commune with nature.
Okay. You commune. And imagine you're trying to learn if there's any affliction on this event, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it takes 1 minute. It is a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
I learn about pretty much the entire place. So the natural land I can do 3 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 3 miles. I will go for general terrain knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Influence from other planes of existence.
Okay.
And it says that I can sense prevalent like things. So
yeah,
can I sense if there's any like prevalent infected people on this land?
Sure. Anna Assume is the first one that beeps up in front of you.
Beep. Infected. Ulster puts a red dot on her face.
Beyond that, Ender's body is surprisingly completely untouched.
Not infected. You move on.
Yeah.
Infected.
There is a low level of infection around everyone else. And the ground itself does have something that seems to just be ever present in the whole of a prayer.
Also starts stamping surfaces and people as he passes.
And as you
Stab. He's made a little stamp out of like a little branch. He's like dipped some berry juice in it. He's like infected. And he's just stamping people.
Yeah.
You see him walking around in his like full resplendent refinery with a little stick.
So is the ground infected as well? Sorry, I didn't.
Yes, he draws a big X on the ground. Infected.
Merlin is following you very confused and is like, I'm a little bit concerned.
Is Merlin infected?
Merlin is infected.
I infected stamped him in the face.
Ow!
Infected.
Don't be a beach.
He keeps walking.
Okay. This kind of looks cool. He's got a little red dot on his cheek.
You look
Can I have a
disgusting.
matching one on the other side?
He does on the other side. And on his nose.
Okay, now I look like a clown.
And on his forehead.
Okay, now I look silly. 4
Infected.
stamps.
I gave Anna 10 because she's very infected.
Okay. As the gates close with all the people from the surrounding area involved, Sleer, if you're there.
Are we infected?
Are you checking?
Yeah. We're prevalent peoples.
You sense.
Hmm?
We have to roll, see if we're infected.
I want all of you, please, to roll me
Oh no.
Roll me.
a.
I'm immune to poison and disease. Does that make any difference?
I have advantage against poison.
Ulster can't be
disease.
infected.
It's disease.
Okay, Ulster's fine.
You bastard.
Okay, and
Yeah,
anyone
I'm not
who is
infected.
not immune to poison and disease, please roll me a constitution check.
If it's poison, do I get advantage?
It is not poison, it is a disease.
Disease. I can't be diseased.
A constitution check, not a constitution saving throw, right?
A check, because I just want to see what your general vibe is. Okay.
17.
Pretty good.
18 if it was a saving throw, but whatever.
16.
16. Ryan. Woohoo. Not amazing. Really bad.
Sass!
Sass, Laz.
Not the cake! Don't affect the cake!
As you are.
I do kind of want to snap the cake with infected.
Watch it jiggle.
Yeah, watch it jiggle.
And when I don't jiggle,
Sansa
jiggle.
is quite
Infected.
infected. Funnily enough, you can't tell how it happened because you got a natural one. He's not like Anna or Shun, but he's like probably got a bit of cough.
Basically, it wouldn't hurt for all of us to be in the room when Sleer casts
yes.
the spell.
Who is infected out of the people in the group?
Well, I need to wait for Aelin to return. But at the moment, it's just Ulster and Loran. No, Sarah's are in Loran.
Ulster goes and stamps both of them.
Oh,
Infected.
harder, Loran says.
Aelin says Lee
Anna, what did you say?
Slee got a 17 apparently.
17. Okay, then only Sarah's are in Loran. So,
I thought you were supposed to be healthy.
I'm sexy. Doesn't mean I'm not sick.
Ulster turns them both around, stamps both of their butts, and moves on.
Okay. He stamped your butt. And Sarah says, yeah, they like to make fun of my butt.
It's a very good butt.
Make
Very
fun of
bad.
They're all making fun of me.
We're appreciating.
Now,
The butt's still
I'm
jiggling.
going to just say, because it's getting to a little bit later,
His money don't jiggle jiggle.
if
It folds.
Sleer, as you settle down to do your healing magic, everybody in the area kind of waits with bated breath, and it's a really serene, eminent moment as starlight begins to fill the shadow corners of the room. You know, you get this kind of like feeling, even though it's daylight outside, as if night has fallen, and a quiet falls over everyone except a single father who shouts out, "Where's my back rub and my free drink?"
Oh, Cass will go out with her like flagon of potency that doesn't end or whatever and just pour everyone a drink.
Anna?
How do you spell a shoe?
Ashune.
Thank you.
since Bluey is proficient in the language of massage, she will
Yeah.
You can. Go
You are
very
so-
well remembered.
Also, do they, even though we have not cured them of their warts and syphilis, do they
I would know a thing or two about
do they
that.
feel a bit
No,
better?
we wouldn't actually.
Even if they didn't think they were unwell, do they feel a bit better?
I think that relies on Aelin's spell. I'm going to say cautiously yes. As you hear one of the farmers say, "Hey, my wart's gone," and
My syphilis. It's cured.
they're like, "No, my scar, my sexy scar."
My sexy scar.
No, it's still there.
It's too late for that, Dale.
Too late. So, as you guys settle together in this hall. Aylin, do you have anything else to add?
No.
That was a great description. Love it.
The healing
Also, it
magic
should heal everything.
Yeah, the healing magic takes hold. Cass, you feel those rifts trembling slightly as they try and heal over
I
again.
didn't know it did that.
What?
How it shows you what everyone else is rolling.
Yeah, that's why when you've rolled things and I've been like, oh, you just rolled this.
Or sometimes I just do it for fun. Though.
Yeah.
And then
I'm just like, what do I would get? Wait,
So if
the
I
light
roll
comes
as well.
back into the atrium. And Anna
Is it gonna
Ashune's
do
eyes kind of clear.
is it going to show up?
And she looks, guys, we're wrapping up.
I'm
okay?
sorry. I just thought that would be fun.
And as the farmers kind of sit there confused but not unhappy with the fact that their ailments and sores have been cured,
I just do it for fun.
Anna Ashune wakes up, eyes kind of like bleary but seeing properly for the first time in a few days.
Anna Ashoon.
And she looks at all of you, finally registering that you are here.
She's covered in berry juice.
And she just says, covered in red, like dripping down her face, let's go kill my husband.
Yes!
And you guys will end this session there.
Yeah. Good stuff.
I really need the lead. I'll
Thank
be right
you.
back. Thank you.
I didn't know it did that. That's cool. Thank you.